Good evening. Good night. Good morning. Good afternoon. This is the Titans. So we have started. Well, everybody had to be in like the next 1 to 5 minutes. Yeah? 5 minutes. Yes. You understand? Yes. One would upon them way. But we are going well off the foot because this is one is tough. I want to tough. If you know, say you have Geico Lizard, Geico CHUNG, and the Prime Minister. This guy get up and talk for the Prime Minister. You know? This guy get up and talk for the Prime Minister. Tell you say in 28 bank account good. And him not see nothing wrong with the only do and then him find all kind of fault. And remember, you know, the IC, said them to send it over there to investigate. FID talk to all FBI and them thing then you cannot take Geico Lizard. Yeah, we're politically aligned. You just cannot take Geico Lizard. Who's politically aligned, my brother.
Lessons.
Yes. Right? You can't take Geico Lizard. Very politically aligned and put him at FID. And you want them to be a face now. Very be a face. By the way, my brother, by the way, them find over 230 gun and not 220 again, over 40 or 50,000 round ammunition.
Yeah.
Remember, it's a dead man Mackenzie, you know. He might tell you under film dead body, you know, them now go surrender to PNP.
Exactly.
And in a film constituency, them find over 50,000 rounds.
Yes.
How much rifle in night? A couple rifle, how much rifles? 70. I look at for 70 rifle, I think, well, I have it, I play it. But around 70 rifle.
Yes. But remember in a way, that also, you understand, the 320 pipe bombs, where those were from?
In a film constituency too.
Well, then what do you think?
Yes.
And if you reflect back on the 1980 general election, what do you think did they do? They are the ones who bring in the arms.
Yes, that's a for them thing.
They are the one who bring in the arms, and let us show them, you understand, who listed as a gun smuggler. Remember that WikiLeaks has
Eric Smith.
As Horace Chang.
And him too, yes.
Right?
They will don't call them and them tape him. And
there you go.
And then it will down.
There you go. Right now, what Andrew Wallace is thinking about is political violence because he knows him lose the election. He's going to lose the election. Him know that. Yes. Remember now, we see the trends, we see the patterns of the behavior. You understand? And know that Andrew Wallace is treading down the line of political violence. You understand? It's just because, you understand, the police have done excellent job and stop these gunfire and find them. They are coming out and try to spin it. They are the ones who are trafficking these guns and bombs.
True.
They are the ones who planning political violence.
By the way, brother, remember telling you, this is not a little man who have slippers, but those we have slippers and no money. And have the know-how. That well organized, you're coming at the place.
Exactly.
That well organized. So I could tell you, I could start a show you because we have to beat them left, right, and center, my brother.
You beat them bad, man.
I show you before
they beat them with the evidence. Yeah. We're not telling no lie on them.
At that, me I tell me, I could start the show. Who about it? 1 a.m.
Start packing because you are going.
Yes, my brother.
Yes, my brother.
We have so much things for the beat. By the way, I have some footage with Bug Life and Andrew Wanis. Andrew Wanis, boy, is a goddamn disgrace. Film thing when take on now for go around in a them liquor place here. Where NWC supposed to do because it mandated from in a mandate time. When him does when anywhere them are go and them are gonna fix something, him go over the place and go cut thing like a him a do it. People don't make him trick now. Disingenerous and everything. I remember Water Commission have them self-reliance. Right? Them have them own budget, them do them own thing. You are them customer. Same like NHT. Yeah? Yeah, so that them deal with this, so them make them own money, them have them own budget, them do them own thing. I don't know why. Now make own this come about him a cut this and like a him a do something or a drink a jacket. Not like that. And by the way, you know, get water free, remember pay, you have to pay fee. Yeah? Yeah, you see me I say?
Yeah.
Yeah, man. You understand? So hear this now. So we're gonna deal with them case here. And I have a thing with owners, I beg him come and I beg and we're gonna rubbish that. Me see Bug Life and him so stupid. That what Bug Life put out this brother when you look him at about road. And what hey people, when you run them way, man. The people them make their life so hard and them so wicked too now come out and talk. So them never know what to say. Them to go away, man. Make us start with this. Byron, this guy. So you see Sir Mark Wolin came out today. Right, and with a press brief. Remember put up Sir Mark Wolin, because we're gonna play something with Sir Mark Wolin. Right? We're gonna take off this here a minute. I'm gonna put up this. Alright. Sir Mark Wolin. Opposition issued 72-hour ultimatum to government to rescind Geico Fid appointment. Or else. See? You see what's going on?
Yes.
Yes. So I'm going to play that too. I'm going to play that. And I'm going to play why the opposition leader do this to them. Why the whole of we have said this guy if go away. Guy could figure out what him can move. This is why. Listen this.
Kevon Stevenson says the millions of dollars transferred between three companies linked to Mr. Holness raises several concerns. He has called on Tax Administration Jamaica, TAJ, and the Financial Investigations Division, FID, to probe the company's accounts for potential irregularities. According to the report, Mr. Holness is connected with or had financial interests in three companies: Imperium, Positive Media, and Estate Bridge. Imperium is wholly owned by Mr. Holness and is a holding vehicle for his assets. A forensic examination of accounts attributed to Mr. Holness and the referenced companies for January 1, 2020 to June 13, 2023 revealed intercompany deposits and withdrawals in excess of $470 million and $427 million respectively. According to Mr. Stevenson, the transfers are not supported by the apparent capital generated. But Mr. Chung questions the veracity of this claim.
And I'm trying to figure out what the relevance of that finding is, because transactions can move between accounts based on, liquidating one asset.
Yeah, these are the same guy where them take a put you on this, These are the same guy, Yeah, Pastor Vicky.
Yeah, yes, man. Blessing. Can you hear me?
Yes,
man.
Yeah, clear. Loud and clear.
All right. These are the same guy I thought now, This are the guy called Lisa. You hear what I say about right away, run out and a bat for owners. You can't put on this our owners to put these guys. That's what I'm telling about him play chess. Not gonna work. Continue.
Getting a loan, setting it up somewhere else, and set it up somewhere else for you. So, for example, Positive Jamaica, I understand, is a foundation, and you might want to move money from a foundation to another account, which is an investment account, to do transfer.
Yeah, they move the money from the foundation, from the charity thing, and then to investment account. You hear him?
Transactions, particularly when I look at Table 6, which is the assets, liabilities, and income held by Mr. Holness, you don't really see any significant positive movement in it. You see that there's movement between US dollar assets and Jamaican dollar assets, but the total of it doesn't seem as if there's any significant increase in assets.
The chartered accountant also calls into question claims by the Commission that a company named Green Emerald does not generate sufficient income to support loans valuing $20 million to Positive Media between 2021 and 2022.
I've looked through the report and I see, for example, that they're questioning loans from a company that does not have the income to lend the money. You don't have to lend money like that. You can lend money by basically being a guarantor.
You lend money about basically be a guarantor. Be a foolish, this what him do. See my one is right there, you know. I him that, you know. Him for me left. You can't take this are more than let me tell you, sir, be nepotism, cronyism, these guys mass up the country. Then pocket lie, you know. All him for go to prison too, you know.
Taking it in one name and sending it to another company. You know, so there are some things there that I'm still trying to understand the conclusion from it, because I think there are still some things missing.
In addition, Mr. Chung says the Director of Investigation's claim of potential tax evasion on the basis of certain entities filing nil tax returns is dubious.
People filing nil returns, if you don't generate any profits, because remember, income is not profits, then, you know, you could...
Oh, you talk about income and not profits, that company. But the income of the company has been... a matter of fact, them don't have nobody at work there. The man have shell companies. And I'm talking about income like it's a real company. It's not profit. You hear this, Byron?
Exactly.
And Pastor Ricky, you hear this? Continue.
File a nil return. And a lot of people also in the country, not just be touching this one, get dividends, for example, which is taxed at source, and don't know that they're supposed to file that also. I don't find that there's anything suspicious with it. The assumption also is that the tax people are not doing their work if the filings were made, because when you file, you actually do file financial statements with it. So it's not that you're just going to file the returns alone. As I said, if there's no profit, then of course it's going to be nil, because you don't get charged tax on total income.
Mr. Chung says the
my total income, I remember, you know, hey, I could put him outside because I get me upset.
Yes.
I could put him outside a minute. This guy really get me upset. Geico Lizard. The Geico, right? When I say yes, Byron, it don't make not even a bit of sense. And then I know the IC refer them to the same FID. Oh, Andrew only so bright for us. Can I go there for spying on people? So I'm going to go there for two things. Them know some are going to win. So I'm just there know and go and spy and then run off at them and try to do a mix up. That's one. The two things I'm going to go for Andrew on this. Nothing else. And then carry news. But everybody else or anything him say and try block it. You can't have this guy there. None whatsoever. Them too bright. You're taking it, Byron.
Well, thank you for that, Lonesome.
Yeah.
Now, let us tell John Public that one of the first things as it relates to any investigator investigating any case, that investigator cannot carry to the particular case that he or she is investigating any form of bias, any form of perception. That investigator has to look on the evidence and able to read the evidence properly to make a determination. That is the first principle of investigation, right? And every investigator knows that. That is principle of investigation. Now, Dennis Chung has a preconceived notion that Andrew Holness had done nothing wrong. Even although that the evidence is clear as day. And what he's trying to twist is very simple, you know, people. Hear what Dennis Chung is trying to twist. The Integrity Commission investigators cannot proceed with the investigation because Andrew Holness failed to answer the question as it relates to the source of funds. The investigator, the Integrity Commission investigators want to understand the source of funds. How Andrew Holness came by the source of funds that he has. Now, what needs to happen, right? Where the Integrity Commission leave the investigation for Fid to continue that. It simply means Fid has the responsibility, right, to follow the money. And when I say follow the money, the trail into Admont. Now, there are two reasons why Andrew Honest put Dennis Chung there. Number one, people and the people need to know. The primary reason why Andrew Honest put Dennis Chung there is for the Fid team not to pursue the investigation into Admont. Because pursuing the investigation into Admont, Andrew Honest is going to have a problem. Andrew Honest is going to have a problem because he cannot explain, and this is where Zara Burton also speaking on the matter, that the Integrity Commission investigators really make a mistake in not pushing the case straight into Admont to understand the source of funds into Admont. This is what Andrew Honest want to crush, because Dennis Chung made his opinion publicly. Simple means he cannot be in that capacity. You understand? Going into that capacity with a preconceived notion that the Prime Minister is innocent. Then obviously you know that he's going to be an obstructionist. Number two, he wants Fid to conclude a case, right, based on false narrative to what? Of the Prime Minister's statutory declaration certified before the general election. It can't happen. And it will not happen. Because the Prime Minister's statutory declaration simply cannot be certified. So this is what he wants to do. He wants Dennis Chung now, you understand, to push in something with the Fid. You understand? So that Fid now can tell the electorate that there is nothing there. There's a nothing burger. So then the Fid is now recommending for the Prime Minister's statutory declaration to be certified. Andrew Honest, go away with that. Go away with that. We know what you are doing. You understand? Go away with that. Number one, Admont. Right? You use Admont as a shell company in St. Lucia to purchase several properties. When you was the Minister of Education, let us start here, Andrew Honest, and let me show you and show John public where, you understand, why the reason why you put Dennis Chung there. To stop the investigation into Admont. Because guess what? You being the Minister of Education, right, between the period 2007 to 2009, and you are getting $5.2 million, and yet you were able to spend over $51 million buying up properties. You need to explain that, because your salary cannot give you that. Your wife's salary, both salary together, could not give you that. So how you come by that? And this is why you put Dennis Chung there, you understand, not to pursue Admont. Because Dennis Chung is not going to, if Dennis Chung, right, allowed to be the head of Fid, Dennis Chung, let me tell Jamaica this, and Jamaica need to see what I am saying. Dennis Chung is not going to look into Admont. He's not going there. He's not going there. And to the fact that he's not going there, how are you going to solve the case if you don't understand the foundation of the case? Tell me, Dennis Chung, if you are going to investigate and you are going to follow this case and you are not trying to determine the original source of the crime, how are you going to solve the crime? Where are you going to start from? Me as an investigator, tell me, Dennis Chung, where are you going to start from? When you are starting a race, where do you start the race from? You start the race from in the middle of the field? That's where you start your race from? No, you have to go back to the source. Dennis Chung. You have to go back to the source of the crime. And the source of the crime is ADMAT. Imperium ADMAT carry a new face, which is Imperium. And that people need to understand that Imperium is now ADMAT. So, let me say this to you, Dennis Chung, because you are definitely a political operative and you have already vented your perception in terms of this particular case. Simply means that you are not to be placed there. You are not to be placed there. No, Wayne, look at the situation. Look how simple the situation is with the current corruption prosecutor. Just to the fact that he has a situation which part the GENSEC went to his wedding. And them have problem with that.
And him not talking, went to a wedding. That man here me just play him, Geico Lizard, and look out completely about the Prime Minister.
Look at it.
No. So you see the two different things, but him take him and I put him there.
Look at it, fam.
Yes.
Look at it, fam. The corruption prosecutor, right? Who is a certified liar. You understand? Certified liar. Right? No, put there to investigate. Right? He has the qualification, he has the capacity, he has the range, he has the tenacity. And yet, to the fact that the GENSEC went to this man's wedding, they are saying that he is not supposed to be in that seat. So let me ask Andrew Holness now. Let me ask Andrew Holness this. Dennis Chung, right, voice his opinion publicly, right? Debate on the matter publicly and tell you where he stands publicly. That he had seen nothing wrong here is a nothing burger as according to him. Remember, the persons who have a problem with this, are, seasoned investigators. You understand? And many of them are liars. Dennis Chung is not a liar.
No.
Has no experience in deep dive forensic investigation. He has no certification in that.
He's just a lizard, man.
But yet, and you know what, Jamaica? This goes to show Jamaica right now, for people with critical thinking, that Andrew Holness definitely have something to hide. Andrew Holness is searching for someone to let him off the hook. But let us remind Jamaica what Andrew Holness did to show you that Andrew Holness, right, is trying to find someone to save him. Remember that Andrew Holness, right, is saying to the court that he wants the Corruption Act to be kicked out. Now, Prime Minister would deal with transparency and balance and integrity. You understand? Because he caught up into an investigation, he cannot explain his illicit enrichment. As a result of that, the Prime Minister is asking the judge, my Jamaican people, to cancel out the Corruption Act. Can you imagine the Corruption Act that deals with illicit enrichment? So then what respect Andrew Holness have for taxpayers? He has no respect for taxpayers. I want to rob taxpayers. I want to live on taxpayers' back. Andrew Holness is a criminal, and me not hesitate and say it, I'm a criminal. And I yield back to another Titan.
Yes, Ricky, Pastor Ricky. Let me just push in a little thing there before Pastor Ricky come in. Yeah? The FID, it deal with the money laundering and the whole of the thing. Remember, it's an Andrew over the IC. Carry the IC, go to court to get rid of that part over talk about money laundering and everything. No, the FID deal with the whole of this and seize people thing and everything, and you want him to go edit. That guy, a guy called Lizard, almost crazy. Yes, Pastor Ricky.
Yeah, good evening, Father Lonesome. Bless you, Lady Angie and the family. Good evening, Sir Byron, Lady Anne-Marie and the family. Good evening, everyone in the chat, or good night to you and your family. God bless you all. The genesis as Sir Byron just says, of the Prime Minister financial crimes go all the way back from '07 when he was education minister and awarded his crony friend Robert Garvin government contracts, and as a result, he got kickbacks from that. That's those are some of the crimes that was committed when he was education minister of education. Then in '08, his former lawyer established a shell company, offshore shell company called ADMAT, where the prime in St. Lucia, where the prime minister was the sole director and his sons have shares. That's why it's called ADMAT, Adam and Matthew. And from that shell company in St. Lucia, the prime minister was able to purchase at least 5 assets, including a taxi company that went bankrupt. And where he lives now, the Beverly Hills mansion, he got money from ADMAT in 2011. We have proof of that to buy the land. And he got money from ADMAT to SSL twice in 2011 from SSL to ADMAT, in 2012 from SSL to ADMAT to start construction on the where he lived, the Waycliffe Drive, where he's building all these luxury apartment that he got flagged for building code violation last year. That was one of the properties, the Arcadia Drive complex, and Great Way. I keep forgetting that one, but nevertheless, so the prime minister has been stealing taxpayers' funding. We have evidence of him getting money from SSL, and SSL had an account for ADMAT. SSL had an account for ADMAT. The prime minister is in a whole heap of trouble. We've been saying this for months. When the IC report was tabled last year, right, in September in the parliament, it reveals, for those who went to it like with a magnified glass, can identify the charges that is pending towards the prime minister. They weren't laid at him at that time. The IC, because he was not cooperating with the Integrity Commission. So what them do? Them hire international forensic auditor, and the auditor revealed and some of these findings in the IC report. You have to go back to read the IC report to see why he chose Dennis Chung to try save him. So the IC report reveals a couple of things. Number one, the prime minister was involved in money laundering. Number two, the prime minister was involved in racketeering. Number three, the prime minister was involved in tax evasion. Number four, the prime minister was involved in conspiracy to commit investment fraud to Beretta, where he got a loan for $50 million with proposed collateral that he never had at the time. That's a fraud. Number five, the prime minister is abuse of power. He used the office of the prime minister to carry out these financial crimes. The fact that he was not cooperating and turning over documents, and he could not explain the massive, huge amount of wealth that he accumulated from them time, the 2007 till the IC start investigating him. He could not explain because his lawful political income cannot justify the massive amount of assets and bank accounts that he have. It's all in the IC report. So what the IC did under MOU, memo of understanding, they have the right. It's in the IC Act of 2017. They have the right and the privilege to make a referral to any financial investigators that they choose. That's why they choose the international forensic auditor first, and then they send the rest of the investigation over to FID, the Financial Investigational Division. Right now, as we're speaking, the prime minister is under investigation. The investigation did not end when the IC made that refer. He's under investigation from FID and TAJ, Tax Administration of Jamaica. If you read the IC report, it tells you that they're supposed to go the recommendation, they're supposed to go back to the IC after they conclude their findings and make that recommendation to the Integrity Commission. So that's why I put Dennis Chung in that space to say, as Sir Byron was saying, and everybody know this, Father Lonesome know this too, that Dennis Chung is going to be the man that carry the bucket for the prime minister. But what he doesn't know, he's implicating himself in a criminal matter, because the international forensic auditor already know every crime, financial crime. It's already documented, and people in the United States know about these crimes. So if Dennis Chung want to be an idiot and go implicate himself in a crime scene, then he might get what's coming to him as it relates to prison. But back to what I'm saying, one more minute. So he's depending on Dennis Chung to write the IC and make that recommendation that they cannot charge the prime minister. There's nothing there to charge him that the IC refer. And then on top of that, because they want him to have his statutory declarations certified. But here's the problem with the statutory declarations. He falsified statutory declarations in 2018, which was the first year the IC started to do the work, because they were commissioned in 2017 by the parliament. He filed falsified statutory declaration in 2019 and 2020. Those 3 years, the IC was not fully staffed, so they, at face value, gave him the benefit of the doubt. They've never really scrutinized those 3 first years. And so they certified those first 3 years, 2018, 2019, 2020, which the prime minister lied on it because his asset didn't accumulate to amount that he really owned, that he declared on his statutory declaration. Furthermore, he did not put ADMAT. He did not declare ADMAT assets of ADMAT, and the money that he got from SSL into ADMAT and purchased all of those stuff that he owns today was not in his statutory declarations. So 2018, fiscal year 2018, 2019, and 2020 needs to be uncertified. I don't know if there's a law in Jamaica that can do that, but they should never have certified those 3. And that's why they cannot move forward, because of the massive, the prime minister is a multi-billionaire on his way to being a trillionaire. Nobody now bad mind him and just not earn it legitimately. Him not earn all of that lawfully. That's the problem everybody have and the IC have with the prime minister. So Dennis Chung, he's depending on to refer back the matter to the IC to say there's nothing to charge him. Just like the DCP, the Director of Public Prosecution, did the same thing when she made that refer back to the DPP and said don't charge him for the government contracts from Robert Garvin. So you see the pattern of how he thinks. He's a criminal, so he might think for beat the system, and that's why I put Dennis Chung there. And Dennis Chung now is implicating himself into a real mess. If I was Dennis Chung, me would have walked away from this, because you're gonna go prison. I'm telling you that. So go back, go referee football, not referee. I mean, watch over the football matches and stuff. But this is going to cause you to go to prison, because the prime minister is going to go to prison. Let me say this. Everybody that goes to prison in America under the first Trump administration, they were implicated because they tried to cover up for Trump, including Rudy Giuliani, who got indicted, one of Trump's top lawyer. So Dennis Chung, who had no forensic auditor investigational skills, has no money laundering skills, no financial crime skills, is just a man put there to see the prime minister through this muddy time, this muddy water. But guess what? International investigators already know about all of this. So it no matter what Dennis Chung do, the prime minister will be held accountable.
All right, we can say something to them now, Byron and Pastor Ricky. First of all, the FID now have no powers. Let me just tell you this, Andrew Unis, over the IC. You notice you can't take him and send him, but the IC people, them are there Governor General of persuade them in. Them one day, you notice, and you can't move them like this.
Right.
Right? That's one. And by the way, in a 2021, around December, them signed a memorandum of understanding. So that when them are in, yes, remember 2021 and 22, them signed it, that are the IC with FID, a memorandum so them can work together, pass on information. And
Right.
22, around July 22, them IC filed that with more cards, so memorandum of understanding. So when you get a guy called Lizard and put there, well, they feed itself, FID, them go around and them investigate the financial crime and thing on them own because it's a part of the finance ministry, right? He may try to stop everything. Can you remember you have enough of them, you know? And just the Prime Minister alone in the Bible. But all of them, you have man who come with rice mill, for market me, you have man who build gas station, you have man who do all kind of things. So, and just them alone. But in for all the whole of them, we're in them crime together, brother. Because remember that run out and look for money laundering and look for this. Like how them that run out the other day and them show me some little thing, few little million, and I say, hey, I never carry that from my channel, you know. Because of the bigger boy, them we are going to find out. We're not stupid, you know. See? So them really want to put them there to cover up him. And when we just play with this guy called Lizard, I'm going to play with the opposition leaders now. When we just play with this guy, with the guy called Lizard, him cannot go. Listen, that are more than conflict of interest. You know, so straight, him go there straight for go do for them business. Yes? Him can't go there. Him fi back off, brother. Him can't go there. And by the way, I see some other group and thing come out and are running with you know. The guy crying, you know. You come out strongly and talk about the Prime Minister and like him 28, okay. And the money them I try find and all kind of things like that. Brother, you know a place like this, so, like Fid, you have to put more a judge, a retired judge there. You understand? Somebody in them kind of thing, or some investigator or something, if you understand this thing. You can't put a guy called Lizard there, so. But politically aligned.
Exactly.
If you go away.
Right.
You understand? Me I go play this Byron and you go here with the opposition leader and Pastor Vicky. When I'm say right, so listen this.
The parliamentary opposition has indicated that it will be filing a legal challenge to the controversial appointment of Dennis Chung as the new Chief Technical Director of the Financial Investigations Division. Mr. Chung's surprise appointment, which was announced yesterday, comes into effect on Monday, June 2. Speaking at a press conference this afternoon, People's National Party leader Mark Golding argued that Mr. Chung is unfit for the post and his appointment should be immediately rescinded by the government. Mr. Golding said the opposition is against the appointment because Mr. Chung has made public comments defending Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness, who is under investigation by the FID for alleged illicit enrichment.
He is somebody who has already publicly stated positions in relation to the matters that the FID ought to be investigating, which are strongly in favor of the Prime Minister and which seek to undermine or belittle the impact and importance of the findings that the Integrity Commission has made on the matters that they investigated as set out in the report they sent to Parliament. He has commented on the 28 bank accounts operated by the Prime Minister and his companies, on the volume of funds that have flowed through those accounts over the period of the investigation in excess of $470 million. On each of these matters, he publicly sought to take a position that's led to the impression that there was nothing amiss, there's no case to answer, everything is above board.
Mr. Golding was highly critical of the Public Service Commission for accepting the recommendation to appoint Mr. Chung to the post. The opposition leader warned that the party will stage protest action against the appointment.
In terms of a legal angle, that's something that we're considering. We haven't had time yet to definitively come to a position on that, but certainly it's something we're exploring. And in terms of actions on the ground, You will see in due course what we have in mind. If the government decides to pursue this and continue on this path, which is essentially contaminating the Financial Investigations Division, which is the institution in Jamaica that is internationally the liaison when it comes to anti-money laundering, anti-terrorist financing, and fighting financial crimes generally. And you'll be hearing more from us if the government doesn't do the right thing, or indeed if Dennis himself doesn't do the right thing and step away from this appointment.
Opposition leader Mark Golding. The PNP has issued a 72-hour ultimatum on the government to rescind the appointment. Meanwhile, anti-corruption watchdog groups National Integrity Action and Jamaica Accountability Meter Portal are calling for the government to provide full transparency on the selection process and criteria used in appointing Mr. Chung to head the FID. More in their support from Lorraine Walker.
The NIA says it shares in the public's concern regarding the transparency of the appointment, mainly as the division is tasked with investigating the Integrity Commission's report on the financial affairs of the Prime Minister. It says the selection process for such a critical entity at this time is pivotal in building and maintaining the confidence of both local and international law enforcement. The NIA argues that Mr. Chung's dedication to service and Jamaica is unquestionable, but says his previous statements on the Integrity Commission's report raise legitimate questions regarding his objectivity. Noting that Mr. Chung is a former chairman of NIA, the group says it is confident that he appreciates the validity of these concerns, adding that his selection has far-reaching implications. The NIA says Mr. Chung should seriously consider whether he wants to take up the appointment. And Jamaica Accountability Meter Portal argues that while Mr. Chung is a qualified chartered accountant, there are no known indications that he has prior experience in investigating financial crimes. The watchdog group asserts
him not have none. Them right. And the NIA used to work them was a check, but them say no, go away. Move, he's a go away.
That the head of the FID must have the requisite qualifications, demonstrated independence and impartiality to enjoy the full confidence of the society. It's therefore calling for clarification of Mr. Chung's expertise in areas such as the supervision of complex forensic investigations involving politically exposed people, leading or managing law enforcement or financial crime teams, and working in anti-money laundering or asset recovery fields. JAMP says it acknowledges that talented forensic accountants, analysts and investigators are employed to the FID, but maintains that the institutional strength of the agency hinges on the head having the requisite competencies to critically assess employee output and set investigative priorities with legal, procedural and strategic implications in mind. The group says it wants the Ministry of Finance to clarify the selection process and criteria used to appoint Mr. Chung, as well as to share the job specification and qualifications profile that informed the appointment. Additionally, it says the ministry should consider legislative reform to codify competency standards for this critical position, if none exists.
Good, because Selvine Ghanum and them put on 1 month for 1 year, less than a year. And then come back with this, I don't know, this Geico guy. Remember play when say, when them talk about Andrew only, just hear him in his own word. You don't see the opposition and tell you why him know this kind of qualified. But hear Geico in his own word. Remember play about this.
On Tuesday, Director of Investigations, Kevon Stevenson, says the millions of dollars
in that on the left. And that Andrew only on them. So this is where him in. So you know where I'm up to, right? Listen here.
Transferred between 3 companies linked to Mr. Holness raises several concerns. He has called on Tax Administration Jamaica, TAJ, and the Financial Investigations Division, FID, to probe the company's accounts for potential irregularities. According to the report, Mr. Holness is connected with or had financial interests in 3 companies: Imperium, Positive Media, and Estate Bridge. Imperium is wholly owned by Mr. Holness and is a holding vehicle for his assets. A forensic examination of accounts attributed to Mr. Holness and the referenced companies for January 1, 2020 to June 13, 2023 revealed intercompany deposits and withdrawals in excess of $470 million and 427 million respectively. According to Mr. Stevenson, the transfers are not supported by the apparent capital generated. But Mr. Chung questions the veracity of this claim.
And I'm trying to figure out.
In this to attack people, just listen, hear this.
Yes.
Andrew attack for now, listen this guy. And I in them want to put this, so listen here.
What the relevance of that finding is, because transactions can move.
What the relevance of that finding is in what I try to figure out. Nobody not talk to this guy, We see pure corruption and this guy come take it. This guy, Geico. Geico. Pick it up and see him head. And that's why you see them come give him this kind of job. Hear what I say. Listen here.
Between accounts based on, liquidating one asset, getting a loan, setting it up somewhere else, and set it up somewhere else for use. So, for example, Positive Jamaica, I understand, is a foundation, and you might want to move money from a foundation to another account, which is an investment account, to do transactions. Particularly when I look at Table 6, which is the assets, liabilities, and income held by Mr. Holness, you don't really see any significant positive movement in it. You see that there's movement between US dollar assets and Jamaican dollar assets, but the total of it doesn't seem as if there's any significant increase in assets.
The chartered accountant also calls into question claims by the Commission that a company named Green Emerald does not generate sufficient income to support loans valuing $20 million to Positive Media between 2021 and 2022.
Because them give the loan, and them not have no money, and file zero, but them are lend 20 million. And them is not a lending, firm. Continue.
I've looked through the report and I see, for example, that they're questioning loans from a company that does not have the income to lend the money. You don't have to lend money like that. You can lend money by basically being a guarantor, taking it in one name and sending it to another company. So there are some things there that I'm still trying to understand the conclusion from it, because I think there are still some things missing.
In addition, Mr. Chung says that
hear this now. Remember, stress him drawing this up. Remember the IC interview Andrew Onis. Them ask him about these money, these things, these book. And them ask him. And him just say, me do this. Go and tell a book, I do this. Them talk to him. So this guy in null and void, this guy Geico, is just bull crap. Let me continue. He must get no job, them job, him to go away. He might one of the minions, them will help mash up Jamaica. Continue play this.
Director of Investigations' claim of potential tax evasion on the basis of certain entities filing nil tax returns is dubious.
People filing nil returns, if you don't generate any profits, because remember, income is not.
So not talk about income. The company is remember, these are not company like how you have Grace Kennedy and them have a bag of work and them put in money and then them file. This is a shell company, Angel Onis alone.
Yeah.
Him put him dad and him son them on it. It not have no workers. None. So it not have no 4 person, it not have no workers,
You don't have a building.
People employ to these companies where Andrew Onis have.
You don't have a building either, a place of employment.
Yeah? And yeah, Geico attack. You hear him? Him null and void. Continue.
Profits. Then, you could file a nil return. And a lot of people also in the country, not just be touching this one, get dividends, for example, which is taxed at source.
So this guy, he might talk like Andrew company, them is a real company. So you have Grace Kennedy in a Byron. And then, if them file none that and that because them don't make no profit, it don't make no sense also. These company do have no workers. They are shell companies. When I move from ADMAT, and when turn ADMAT turn in our
Imperial.
Yeah, and then the other one, him send the land go over there, and him tell them it's in there. Him send the land go over the next one where him put himself and sister pan. Yeah. Estate bridge.
Yeah.
People would have the most shares in that. So if him said it over there, a film land, I him start it. A film.
Him liquidate ADMAT in 2021 and dissolve it and transfer the assets into
so you ask something to know, Byron.
Yeah.
I could make this sink in. When you say the other day when Dr. Das come out and talk about the drill, and Williams run out, and I said, I know him own the shares, or other people, you must call him, remember, him own the shares in the company corporation, And the same thing with Andrew own this now, because him put shares in his sister and his son, and move the shares. And the same thing them do, and the same Williams, him are the secretary for Andrew thing. So them know what them do, the one of them is a web. The same Williams is a secretary for one of them thing. So you see what them do? When you see them get shares, you know who to come from. Can't say my old shares to people. Eh?
Yes.
But I have to buck up that web. So this even make it worse and make something this will open up in a Byron.
Exactly.
Yeah, because this year when Andrew draw from Imperium and put back the shares over there place. Where did I place him again?
Estate Bridge.
Estate Bridge.
Green Emerald.
Oh, me cut off from it now. Film share same way. Him can't tell me nothing. You understand?
Yeah.
Continue. I be a criminality demand them up that deal with it in a Jamaica, Continue.
And don't know that they're supposed to file that also. I don't find that there's anything suspicious with it. The assumption also is that the tax people are not doing their work if the filings were made, because when you file, you actually do file financial statements with it. So it's not that you're just going to file the returns alone. As I said, if there's no profit, then of course it's going to.
And I talk like some real company people. He might put Shell like a real company. Hey, come on, I'm move it, But tell them to tell people for that, brother. Yeah, the man I talk about if no, like some real a Shell company. Shell, no company it's just a Shell, just a face, just a name to wash money. Yes, my brother Byron.
Yeah. If you look at it, let us just bring up the entire picture, right? And because context matters. Context matters. Now, as it relates to Dennis Chung, right? Looking at the whole thing, and he's talking about nil returns and all of that bulls that don't make sense. You as an investigator, right? Looking at Andrew owners, ringing $470 million through various accounts, right? Between the period 2020 to 2023, because this investigation is very simple. The Prime Minister, right? Ringing $470 million through various accounts between the period 2020 to 2023. And I want investigators particularly to listen to me now. So then when I look at the period 2020 to 2023, let us look at Andrew Owner's statutory declaration for 2020. 2020 statutory declaration, he is telling the Integrity Commission that his total assets was $173 million.
Yes.
So now make it make sense.
Yes.
If you are telling the Integrity Commission investigators that your total assets for 2020 is $173 million, make a look over here, sir. Make a look over here, sir. Now let us move from a statutory declaration, right? That you submit that your total asset, right, is $173 million. Let us talk $470 million now going through the bank, you understand, between the period 2020 to 2023. How was that? Why that did not list it?
Right.
Why that did not list it? He has not listed that. So then, if you list the $170 million, right, that you have, right, and for the period 2023, between 2023, you around $470 million through your account. So if Dennis Chung looking at this and not seeing money laundering, then he needs not to go into that into that area of responsibility. He needs not to go into that area of responsibility, period, point blank and period. Because he is saying that the Prime Minister 28 accounts, hey, is that nothing burger? Nothing wrong with that. It is not like you have 28 accounts, right, inactive. You have a couple of those accounts with $470 million running through them. So then, what happened to money laundering, sir? Because remember, these companies, right, that is shifting around money in, they are not legitimate companies, they are shell companies. These are not companies, you understand, that they are active company that have employees and they are dealing with business to make profit. No, nothing like that, nothing like that. So where Andrew Holness got the money from?
Yeah.
You understand? So then when you look at that, but let me say something straight as it relates to certain things, right? To show you the corruption of Andrew Holness. My Jamaican people, remember that, let us talk about the corruption index. In 2009, Bruce Golding partially flatlined the corruption index, the lowest in Jamaica history. The corruption index of Jamaica fall 30.
30, yeah.
Right, and the corruption index. I want people to remember this in 2009. When Portia Simpson went in, the corruption index, right, Jamaica lifted up, right, to place 40 on the corruption index.
39.
Right, 39, 40. All right, thank you, 39. All right, 39, right, on the corruption index. Portia Simpson pushed that up. Now, watch this, people. As a result of Mark Golding working on the legislation, right, working on the bill as it relates to the Integrity Commission Act and passed it 2017. As a result of Mark Golding working on that act and Andrew Holness government, you understand, put it through, right, put it in law, right, 2017. Guess what? Jamaica increased 4%, 4 digits up on the corruption index, which is 44. Now, watch this now, people. Between that period, 2017 until now, and the amount of corruption that Andrew Holness had done, the corruption index have to remove that 4 unit points that was given to Jamaica from 2017. Now, the corruption index removed that 4 digit point, and now the island sits at 40, at place 40 on the corruption index as a result of Andrew Holness. So then you tell me now that the international body looking on Jamaica, you understand, as such a corrupted nation, and as a result of Andrew Holness activities, then tell me something. You think Dennis Chung can go save him?
No.
Dennis Chung, you can't save Andrew Holness. I tell me to tell you that. Because any form of, interference coming from you, you might find yourself behind bars. Dennis Chung, let me warn you. Any sort of interference coming from you, right, to interfere with an active investigation, right, in terms of contaminate the investigation, you will find yourself in bind. Andrew Holness cannot be saved, you know? Let me tell you why Andrew Holness cannot be saved. Andrew Holness cannot be saved simply because Andrew Holness cannot explain, right, where he got his money.
Right.
He can explain it, but he doesn't want to. Because if he explain it and speak the truth, he'll go to prison.
Right.
Why tell people say? You think Andrew Holness is going to come out and say, okay, well, all right, me start the corruption thing when, me start to influence contract to Gov'T, which he did. Right? And some of the money there, you understand, me use it to help and buy some properties. And yeah, of course, me link up in a SSL. You understand? And yes, X amount of money come out of SSL to me, and you understand, this is all, you understand, me have all of them money there. Right? And sometimes you meddle around with taxpayers' money. You're not going to talk the truth. You're not going to talk the truth. And that is the truth. You're not going to speak it, Andrew Honest. And that is the truth. And so then, this is where it stopped for the Integrity Commission investigators asking you to explain the source of wealth. And you're sitting there, you understand, with blinkers all over your head, like you don't understand what the Integrity Commission investigators are asking you. They are simply asking you a question, sir. Explain your wealth. And as simple as it is, right, you're taking how many years, drawing out how many years to explain a simple question, where you get the money from. And that Integrity Commissioner asks, you know, tell us, let us understand your source of wealth. Let us understand the source of wealth. Tell us how you get there. Because what we want to know, number one, what we have in evidence. This is what the Integrity Commission investigators are saying to you. What we have in evidence. In 2007, right, between 2007 and 2009, when you were the Minister of Education, your salary, Andrew Honest, was only $5.2 million per year, annually, right? And your wife wasn't getting as much as you. And if you put that salary together, Mr. Andrew Honest, the duration period between 2007 and 2009 that you created ADMAT as a result of Patrick Bailey created ADMAT for you, you understand? So that you can swing off the money them in an ADMAT, right? So you cannot explain this.
That's right.
Explain to us 2007, between 2007 to 2009, when ADMAT started to buy up these properties. Explain to us you getting $5.2 million. Explain to us how you were able to buy up.
I know of nothing. I know of nothing else that he owns in relation to ADMAT.
There you go.
National Security Minister Dr.
You're not seeing it. Weird.
Property and found that it was indeed purchased.
Yes.
What you know, is there any evidence?
I know of nothing. I know of nothing else that he owns in relation to ADMAT. That he currently owns.
We checked the title for the Acadia property and found that it was indeed purchased by the same St. Lucian company ADMAT Incorporated in 2008, again when Honus was Minister of Education. The price tag, 16 million Jamaican dollars, around 219,000 US back then, and again, no mortgage was listed. Further, we also checked whether ADMAT owned additional properties and found one more. A half-acre lot, also built in Beverly Hills on Wycliffe Close in February 2009, also when Honus was Minister of Education, price tag around 15 million Jamaican dollars, almost 173,000 US dollars, and again, no mortgage listed.
So by one 16 and 15.
Yeah.
That's 31 already, you know. No mortgage,
yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
Cash buy them there. Continue.
Exactly.
So you've never heard of this Wycliffe Close property before today?
Let me put it this way. I have never handled, and when I look at the transfer, I see the names of lawyers who I know.
Yeah, there. I'm not telling her, a female they must eat.
And he's entitled to have more than one lawyer.
Where's your pastor, Vicky?
No, I mean, he's a pathological liar. And I was agreeing with myself.
That's why I'm not going to praise the people, the man with the females, them protect him. He's an umbrella criminals.
We all have to eat.
So all told, when it comes to properties, there's the Great House Boulevard home that Honus and his wife bought with a mortgage while Honus was a mere member of Parliament. And in the 4 years he was Minister of Education, earning the equivalent of around 60,000 US dollars per year, or 90,000 with allowances. There was the Arcadia apartment, no mortgage listed. The land at Wycliffe Close in Beverly Hills, no mortgage listed. The land for the Shenstone Beverly Hills house he's building, no mortgage listed. And around 525,000 US dollars spent building the house in the 3 years after Honus's Jamaica Labour Party lost the election in.
So the two places buy before the 31 mil. How much US it value? him spend the next 500,000 US bill this. Yeah? You see this, Byron?
2011. Honus, through a member of his team, said he wouldn't comment on the source of funds for any of his properties before the election, but even after, he didn't. He also said he would make his financial statement public at the end of March 2016, but he didn't.
I got a dangerous, you know.
You have to push it up. Yeah, Lonesome. If you get into the details of what Zara Burton is saying, right? Of all those properties that Andrew Holness, right, amass, you 10, no mortgages listed.
Cash, him buy cash.
Jamaica.
Where him get the money?
Investigation prove that there is no mortgages. No mortgage listed for nothing. So then it seems like man came from sky and just bless Andrew Holness from nowhere, right? Gave him millions of dollars, right, to purchase these properties. And he cannot explain the source because guess what? He got all of that in a dream. Can you imagine people that he wanted to
Sir Byron.
He just woke up one morning and then all of a sudden, whoops, millions of dollars, and he just buying them cash, no mortgages listed.
And Sir Byron,
Andrew Holness' salary between 2007 and 2009 when he was doing all of that was only $5.2 million annually. So tell me, how could Andrew Holness buy no properties, like 10 times the ratio of his salary? How can that be? Because if he's getting $5.2 million and able to spend $51 million buying up all of these things and no mortgages listed, tell me, people. You understand? I mean, let me get into it. That's why you find it that Andrew Holness now got Dennis Chung, because Dennis Chung is not going to want to lead Fid, right, to investigate into ADMAT. And that is where the problem is for Andrew Holness. So he is looking for an angel to save him.
Byron.
Yes.
Andrew Holness sent paychecks. And we see some movement where he make. In 2009, them draw for one when he Wayne Henry. We put the man on planet kind of pirate. He was the advisor for Ardesha. Let me show the people them Wayne Henry. Because you know what, like when we are talking, like show them in the Bible. Right? Now I'll show you how the man work. Him have Wayne Henry, them draw for him and take him Byron. You hear this, Byron?
Yes.
And then put Wayne Henry, but them take Wayne Henry and put him in a PIOJ. Wayne Henry the other day run out to the bogus data where we have to stop him. Because that's not good enough. Bogus data, foolishness, garbage. So the poverty rate cut in half from 16%. We never have nothing like, hey, people, Andrew dangerous, you know. So he put him in some place to come tell me lie and come with bogus data. So he put Geico. He would want to put Geico yasso. If you go doing foolishness. No go that. In the early 2007 coming up. Yeah? When him guilty, him come with a thing named Don't You Trouble Zion because Kamika Prince or what she name let go that. She let him. That's why them don't want to back at the IC. Exactly. They tell her don't even reapply.
Yeah, man. The IC.
But guess what, Father? Byron, guess what? The fact that him put Chung there is an admission of guilt to cover up. The cover up of a crime is worse than the actual crime. A lot of people go to prison based on cover up, and that's what's going to happen to Dennis Chung. He's going to implicate himself, and he's going to go to prison with the Prime Minister. Number two, in the Zara Burton piece, Father Lonesome does show, he made a commitment to release the source of funding for all of his property, and he never did. So he cannot be trusted. He made also another commitment to disclose his financials prior to the election or after, but he never did. So he cannot be trusted. What's going to happen to Dennis Chung is that the prime minister and his party is going to lose the general upcoming election. A political appointment, so meaning that the incoming government now have the right to put who them want put in a fits, because it's not a constitutionally position like the DPP.
Yes.
So his position there is temporary until the election. And so what the People's National Party needs to do, as they already said they're going to do forensic investigation across all the government agencies, is that any decision he makes that is contrary to the rule of law, they need to have it reversed in the court system and take it to the court and have it reversed and still hold the prime minister accountable. Because him thinks that Dennis Chung will go right to the IC and say, you don't need for certifying, because he's disqualified from being prime minister or representing politics, because him can't get him statutory declaration them certified. 4 years and the previous 3 years should never have been certified. So that's the goal and the objective, is to have Dennis Chung refer back to the IC to say we find nothing, so I want to certify him. And that's a corrupt act, and that's not going to stand. So even if Dennis Chung do that, you know, we're just analyzing the situation. Even if he does that, it's going to fall flat on his face. Lastly, the prime minister put him there because they have a lot of properties that they buy and land with them thief. And the IC gave them till May 31st, which is Saturday coming, to disclose their land acquisitions. And so there's so much financial fraud under this government, not only the prime minister, but the speaker and many more of them in a parliament who acquire land and property. And so this investigation is going to spread far and wide and deeper. Listen, this is a big, huge scandal for the prime minister right now, and he's grasping for air. And so just like him take the IC to court was an act of desperation to put it in the judiciary, and so so that him can get for run for prime minister while the court put it off till October this year coming. And Dennis Chung is not going to be able to save him. A person the prime minister go, and Dennis Chung, they're right there with him too.
Okay.
Big
input. People, this are the one when him, the one of the appear OJ now. Let me show you say him one of the minions. See him anyway, read that by you can see it?
Yeah, Finance Minister Alisha has been relying heavily on the services of consultants and advisors when compared to his predecessor, Omar Davies. According to documents tabled in Parliament yesterday concerning the salaries being paid to consultants, Shah's ministry is carrying heavy payment baggage for the engagement of their services. Just over 34 million is being paid to contract 10 persons in the finance ministry. Look at that. With Dr. Wayne Henry, a chief technical advisor, and Terence Edwards earning the majority. You hear that, people? Henry is being paid 5.79 million yearly for providing technical support, particularly in relation to multilateral and external agency. Edwards, who was contracted under the previous administration, is being paid 4.5 million of tax consultancy services.
These are the same way in Henry. The other day come out with bogus. When he went out with the bogus thing with owners that talk about it cut.
Yes.
Yeah, about poverty cut. You only saw the piece hungry. Say poverty cut from 16 point to 8. Nothing no goes up. But by the way, the government deliberately boycott, yeah, and derail the census 2022.
Yeah.
Why? If them remember, I know only way you can derail that if you pay the people, it's not going to derail. It will take 3 months. But after to run through it up to 3 years, and I know the people them are not getting a pay, so they want to go back to the field. And then that's the non-violent if you don't finish it. And it's very important for the country, you know. You can know where you live. You know everything. Yeah. Who I work from, who not work, if you have disabled there, so where you sleep, or if you have food or you buy food, so them can plan for the whole country. But if Andrew make that go through, them that run him a long time, you know. Can you see around maybe a 75% gone under poverty right now? We sing by Titanic.
No, that's serious. It's
serious.
That's serious.
So don't pay it up to 3 years now, from 2022 to 2025. And then he put out this, me don't know what this. Run out and I keep our press brief like when I was saying Maminia. Him did I get the most money out there, so if you advise the 1/3, because Shaw was a 1/3 in a brother. Shaw was a 1/3 with Dwight Nelson, now again, Webby.
Yeah.
And them end up with 25 advisors, not 10. Waste of taxpayers, Shaw never know where him do. That's why we sink the place and them run go back at IMF. Yeah?
Exactly.
Sink the place. See? Oh, but speaking of Geico, we could just shift at some little gear. Now, we hear Deadman Mackenzie run out the other day. This is how I'm saying people. And this very serious what we're talking about now. Don't move the dial. Watch this.
We'll never surrender Jamaica to the PNP. Never!
Deputy Leader of the Jamaica Labour Party, Desmond Mackenzie, issuing that declaration at an Area Council 1 meeting in the St. Andrew Eastern.
Play it back. Listen again.
We will never surrender Jamaica to the PNP. Never!
Deputy Leader of the Jamaica Labour Party, Desmond Mackenzie, issuing that declaration at an Area Council 1 meeting in the St. Andrew Eastern.
So people,
we will never surrender Jamaica to the PNP.
You will never surrender Jamaica. That sounds like you develop some war business and war strategy or something like your own Jamaica, right? We will never surrender Jamaica. That alone, Carl, in a film constituency yesterday. I'm going to play this and listen to the amount of bullets, over 40,000 rounds. Mostly some 70 rifle, over 230 guns. Not my word. When you listen this. And this bad enough. Because the big mama them run out. And them say somewhere, you know, them find this somewhere. Them have to the Senate Mackenzie constituency, you know. No. Because them are operative too, you know. Watch this. Hear this, brother.
Confirmed that more than 200 illegal firearms and 40,000 rounds of ammunition were intercepted by the police.
You hear much round people?
Yes.
Just listen how much can you hear the crab himself talk. Hear this. You can't believe this? When they talk about them control this, can you imagine how much of this got you? Hear this.
Maker94fm.com. National Security Minister Dr. Horace Tang has confirmed that more than 200 illegal firearms and 40,000 rounds of ammunition were intercepted by the police on Tuesday at the island's ports. The cache includes 74 rifles and 159 handguns.
74 rifle! 74 rifle, you know. Okay, no, sir, up more 16 and carry 15 rifle, 74. It's an army. Never play it back. Never play it back. Eh? And you much round, brother? Over 40,000. Them still account round. In a dead man Mackenzie constituency. Well, does the same now go turn over the country to the PNP? Never. I will know a film background already, you know. Listen here.
Maker94fm.com. National Security Minister Dr. Horace Tang has confirmed that more than 200 illegal firearms and 40,000 rounds of ammunition were intercepted by the police on Tuesday at the island's ports. The cache includes 74 rifles and 159 handguns.
It was reported, and I must report a bit early, but we are dealing with that. But I think the country will be happy to know we intercepted 233 firearms coming to the country. But in the shipment, there were 233 firearms. That is more than a company. That can equip more than a company of soldiers. These organizers are worse than the shooters. There are 32 rifles and the rest were pistols. And the security forces with customs is still counting ammunition. Last thing I heard, at one I heard 40,000 counting, 50,000 counting, and there's more. That level of ammunition on the streets with these weapons designed to create mayhem by a distorted and cruel mind, and that must be stopped.
National Security Minister.
All him for go to, you know. Time across is.
But you know why this is dangerous? You know why this is dangerous, right? Because I can see here where a narrative building up. And the narrative that is building up, I want to remind our Jamaican people something of what Siaga said, right? We're supposed to remember this particular here as it relates to election, that when Siaga said, right, if we can take it by the ballot, then we will take it by the bullets.
Yeti.
Siaga said that. Siaga said that. That if it is not by the ballot, then it is by the bullet. And in the 1980, the CIA document revealed where the Jamaica Labour Party, right, imported several guns in the island. Let us broad forward in terms of what we are seeing, right, and the similarities that appears to be matching up with 1980. We have seen 320 pipe bombs came into the island, into a particular vicinity belonging to the Jamaica Labour Party.
In a bushrat constituency.
In a bushrat constituency.
Yes, Edmund one, same way.
All right. Where am I going, people? Watch this. Now we have seen the biggest ammunition fine, gun and ammunition fine, right, in the same person constituency. So then what we see a pattern existing. Yeah? A pattern existing. We have seen where the Jamaica Labour Party even tried to burn down God knows. See those, little pockets of violence and all these things. And so then when you hear Desmond Mackenzie, right, is saying that they are not going to hand over the country to the People's National Party, as if to say that the Jamaica Labour Party own Jamaica. This is despicable. Now, when I look at this, my Jamaican people, Desmond Mackenzie is saying, let me tell you what Desmond Mackenzie is saying. Desmond Mackenzie is saying, by any means necessary, they are going to try to hold on to power. So let us reshape it in terms of the 1980. They are now saying, they are carrying that 1980 message to say, if they cannot take it by the ballot, they will take it by the bullet. Now, let me congratulate the police who are alerting us as it relates to what? Trafficking through the walls. And let us remind our Jamaican people something as it relates to WikiLeaks. Flagging information saying that CHUNG, right? CHUNG is one of those who flag as it relates to gun shipment. So then let us ask ourselves the question, why none of this as it relates to violence and gun shipment and all of that, why none of that being flagged by the PNP? No ammunition, right, as it relates to gun and ammunition, big fine in terms of that. Fine in the PNP constituents. So Jamaica, I'm asking you, look, read the signs for yourselves.
Yeah.
We have seen their vloggers on TikTok, and when I heard one said, I couldn't believe it, that he will come to Jamaica and fire gun for his party, which is JP. My God. You hear any PNP person saying anything like that? people, I want you to take note that Andrew Holness and his minions, his criminal network, kleptocratic government, banana republic, to the fact that they know that the night join night and 3 months left for deliverance. And to the fact that they know that deliverance is right around the corner, they know, my Jamaican people, that if they lose the general election, which they are going to,
prison,
they know that it is not the third term loaded, but the prison term is loaded. And I yield back.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Here's my theory on all of this criminality that we're witnessing right before our eyes. The prime minister is panicking. Him and his party, they're going to lose the general election by a landslide defeat. No doubt about that. But here's where he miscalculated the People's National Party. Here's what he did wrong. And if he's watching, I'm probably going to say, yeah, the pastor is up on top of things. In 2016, the election was in February 2016. They came to power. So according to our constitution, the election is constitutionally due every 5 years after the last election, even though the ruling government or the prime minister, because he's the one called the election, because we don't have fixed dates, he can call the election anytime 3 years after the last election within that time frame. He doesn't have to wait for 5 years. So what he did in 2020, he miscalculated, misjudgment, because he lacks judgment, and he's not a real chess player. He's a poor chess player. So in 2020, he called the election in September. Remember now, the election was held in February 2016. 5 years from February 2016 is February 2021. So he misjudged and miscalculated because he thought the lockdown and Tanawni Yard and, the People's National Party was probably divided. So he called the election 5 months before it was constitutionally due in September 2020. If he had allowed the election to run its course and call it in February 2021, as it was originally constitutionally due, then this coming general election would have been constitutionally due February 2026. But because he called it 5 months earlier, he's running out of time and panicking because him have problems in party divided, power struggle, them have what heap of seat where them not settle, and furthermore, them want to throw him out and get rid of him. So now the election now is constitutionally due September this year, which is 3 months from now. So his back is against the wall and he's running out of time. So my analysis is telling me that with the 320 pipe bombs them find in our West Kingston and the 1,042 sticks of dynamite them find over Bowlby, I believe it's Robertson constituents, and all of these gun and ammunition trafficking into Jamaica since last year till present, I strongly believe that he's going to use these measures to start to say that they need to postpone the election because he needs time to fix his broken party. He needs time and he's running out of time. There's no way they're going to be ready by September this year. And so I wouldn't be surprised if they try to start some kind of uprising or conflict by allowing, them party supporters to attack the People's National Party supporters and draw us back into what we came to in 79, 80, which we don't want to go back to those dark days in the history of Jamaica. So I believe that now we have to be strategic because Father Lonesome, Sir Byron, we see all kind of guns and ammunitions and dynamites and fire pipe bombs and fertilizer. So we don't know.
You're good. Merci, man.
All right. No, I get some bulletin here. I don't know if you get it. Some sort of thunderstorm. My area here.
Oh, you get thunderstorm.
Yeah.
Let me look on it. Yeah.
You get it on your phone?
No, I mean I get it. Just a pass you. So I get it.
Yeah, man. I get the alert.
You get the alert?
Yeah, I get the alert then.
Oh, I'm not hear it. I'm not hear it yet. So you're good though. You're good otherwise.
Yeah, I'm good otherwise, but
yeah. Let's go and watch it, man. You're dead right. You're the
Lord is with you. But let me just take 60 more seconds and finish and then finish up and turn it over. So he could be planning some kind of
remove what I'm doing. 2 of them. Yeah.
He could be planning.
All right now. You can't see it, Byron?
Yeah, I see it.
All right, you're good.
Yeah.
We're good. Okay. Go ahead, Pastor.
Yeah, so he's a criminal, so we have to stay a step ahead of him. He could be planning to start something in Jamaica to postpone the election, to buy time to fix his broken party. So we cannot trust him. So we have to think strategically on how to stay ahead of him, so him not lock down the country and try thief the election, because they're not going to win. Everybody knows Jamaica's PMP country. The People's National Party base is bigger than the Jamaica Labour Party base. Furthermore, all of the institutions and accomplishments from Norman Manley, Michael Manley, PJ, and Portia has shown that the People's National Party, them own Portland, the People's National Party own Jamaica. Back over to you, Father.
All right. So Pastor Ricky, on a serious note now, say most of even the people that vote for Andrew, they not vote for Andrew,
Right.
I beg, I beg Andrew, I beg. So nobody now, police are going and kill innocent youth and things. So nobody out of them senses will work. And then them use them and charge them 200,000 from hospital, not risk them life for Andrew Honest. And him and them many and them alone, and some look at 1, 2 get it, but the real people, them will not move for him. Them now come out and beat themselves. And by the way, members of the police force, police will do policing, and manlight policing, but them do policing and manlight, and them not ramp neither. And them now do not but policing, so when you run out with gun, them are plaster you. I mean, you understand? So I'm like 1980 this. Them can't get no youth. If them could get the youth them for do this, then them that win election. Them can't even win election much as the backside. I beg him start beg now, I'm gonna show you something. Look how one is desperate. This is not joke, people. Yeah, well, all right. Now play Bug Life first, Pastor Ricky. And that stupid needs out of Bug Life, but you're not gonna believe it. Because and they will play Andrew Wallace after. Hear this.
Decided to do this. We could have get more votes by patching every road in Jamaica. We could have taken the $45 billion and say we're gonna do pothole free by 2023. Like
you see, Pastor Ricky?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, see, remember play about this. Hear this, people.
We decided to do this. We could have get more votes by patching every road in Jamaica.
So, Allah tell, that don't make no sense. And here, what them do people, them use the road for look vote. If said what time out, we could have get many more votes, enough more vote every patch, every road. 45 billion right now can patch every road, that's the number 1. Right? And number 2, yes, it cannot patch every road. And number 2, if them could have used road and patch every road, use road and get vote, them that do it. You hear this, Byron?
Yeah.
Yeah, them intention. Remember play it and me here about life. He fooling up. Hear this.
We decided to do this. We could have get more votes by patching every road in Jamaica.
Then you think the JLP want to do that? Right, no, that's why them cut ribbon. So yeah, now we could have get more votes. Why you think them a try patch road now? That can't get them. This are all big and dunce and fool. And him them they push out. Yeah. You understand? Continue.
We could have taken the $45 billion and say we're going to do pothole free by 2023.
No, people. 2025, we might take 45 billion and say pothole free by 2023. You know, sister, I said this.
Yeah, but when?
Eh?
Remember I said, don't believe the word of a politician.
No, but look at food better. 2 years ago, I'm here where I'm saying, look a while. Pato, him just try something, you know. I said, well, them a patchy road, but not fluke vote. But here where I'm just saying, better 2025 winner. Yeah, man, you're up, man. You're up. Yeah, man. Soon be up on my life. Soon knock you. Him say patrol free by. Hear this, people? Them just release some money. Hear this.
Take the $45 billion and say we're going to do patrol free by 2023.
2023 and gone 2 years ago, people. That makes sense to you, Pastor Ricky and Byron? You see, I tell you, say when them up there, if you listen to what them talk, I'll be like what the other one say, Barrel Light. 2023, you hear this? Patrol free. 2023 now come back in our lifetime again, you know. It gone with the 2025.
But them don't have the money for fix the road. Them only spend 9 billion.
May I show you all them are beg. So him could have patched the road and get more vote. You think if only could have patched the road and get vote, him want to do it? Eh? Hear this.
Like some man did say patrol free by 2003. But we never said patrol free. We said Jamaican people deserve good things. Rural people deserve good things.
When Andrew wants to put it out in the people. That's why I play it. I put it out, you know. This is the desperation when I put up every day right now. Look at.
The people of Northeast Centre deserve good things. And good things is good road, good infrastructure.
Go look on St. Thomas Road. Go look on the road them. A matter of fact, them leave the road for 10 years. And touch, no repair, nothing at all. I mash it up. And I look on a voting here. And look at them fool now, people. I'm going to show you, Pastor Ricky. Or them desperate. Yeah. Right? Look at them fool now. Them come with 45 billion. And you in your community have more than 50 road, 80 road or something. And them want to tell us them apart 2 or 4 road. And you for pick the road. So me live on a road and when me looking up 10 years. Me I walk on dirt. And then I pick somebody else's road. Me that be a damn jackass. So if you don't fix my road, why me I give vote? You pick some 2 road in the year. So me I come get and join this my vote. And now my road fix. That make any sense to you, Byron?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So each constituency held consultations where councillors were present, MP was present, church leaders, you have people from the neighborhood watch, and they all came together and say, we have these roads that we think are the most important roads. Yes. Then they came and they chose 10. Because some people all have 50 roads, you know. But we don't have the budget to fix all the roads now. Yeah. And then we came back and said, we are going to, before September, fix 4 out of the 10. So by
September, them can't fix that. Mean, if them take so long for build St. Thomas Road. But in a year place before September, that name, a little, when them can't put them up on that, I'll mash up again.
But them
before September, you saw, you start vote them a look. Them have fixed for your road.
By September, you should have 4 brand new roads in your communities.
I want to forward them to this. Come off of this. So this may I tell you now, Pastor Ricky. This is the desperation with Andrew and the minions. When me look, me see the man, wife, me have it so. She make a hard way, brother. No people. Number 13 have a hard way. Look here. And then put it up. And I say thank you for the Prime Minister. Let me show you. Hey, me take out them thing I've show it, you know. We're 13 there. 13 have see that? Look here. Let me show you something.
So it's a win-win in every way. Far more receipt for your dollar, and it was easier for persons to consolidate and transport their supplies as a family.
They might give everything, hear this.
I want us to be able to continue to do this type of exercise because it really benefits the people of East Rural St. Andrew. Once again, Prime Minister, I thank you. And it allowed them to share the cost of transportation. So it's a win-win in every way. Far more receipts for your dollar, and it was easier for persons to consolidate.
So shall I tell us them get 20 bags of cement and who call them in the bush and them want this. So this is what them do. Them gather, get the things them and add it out. So how much the people stay around 300. I want to get Prime Minister, thank you. And it's a win-win situation. This is what them do right now.
That is just
and then let me know. Because you get 300, yeah, remember, you know, if you have 35,000 people in that one area for vote, and you get 300, you carry belly same way. You get them. Me never get none. Me can't vote for you. You for go away.
We ain't.
Them can't get the 35,000.
Not get that.
Yes.
Yeah, we ain't. That's just the process of buying clothes. Right? I'm
Yes.
here.
Take one of them. No, you turn on the other one. Oh. Like, you hear an echo, right?
Yeah.
I'm getting an echo one there. All right. Talk, I'm going to be here. Hold on.
Microphone test.
Talk. Talk now. No, hold on. Talk.
Microphone testing.
Because you have the two up, you know, me just move one, you know. And two up on your screen, just move one of them off of your screen. Look up on top and move one.
Yeah, man, one.
Just take up one, just move one. Just
okay, all right, good.
Exit off and leave the last one here. Yes. No, come on back. No, the wrong one you X off, you know. X off the other one by one. By one. The wrong one you X off, you know.
Microphone. We're good now.
Yeah, you're good. All right, good. All right.
Good. I write one, man.
Yeah, all right, good.
All right.
All right, so I'm sure you know, Pastor Rick, your desperate Angelonis is.
But let me explain let me explain that thing there, Wayne, because when I'm a bona fide, just call me and you understand and just highlight to me Andrew Warner's strategy. Now, if you remember, as it relates to Bruce Golding, got in trouble in 2011.
Yes.
Right? And have to resign. And then, you know, Andrew Warner has to hold the mantle, right, into 2012.
Yes.
Now, the decision for Andrew Warner to call it the election was a mistake. And where Portia Simpson had beaten him in 2012.
Yes.
So Andrew Warner, under the beating him, studied the process and, you understand, try to now appeal to, you know, the younger generation voters, right? And was successful. You understand? Wearing Clarks, go amongst the people and go on like, you know, in his article talking about, you understand, the one bedroom, the one bedroom when burning and so then people start to feel him because people were saying then that, you know, he's from the bosom of the poor.
Yes.
And so then the people then buy into that, right? And obviously, yes, 2016, the people said, all right, we could try young and vibrant Andrew Owners. That's what they say. That's what the narrative was. Young, vibrant, and is of the people. He's of the bosom of the people. This is someone who born in a one room bedroom house and grew up. So him know the struggle. Him fit in the struggle like the ordinary Jamaican people who fit in the struggle. So that developed a strong love for him in the core of the street. But 2016, in 2020 again, you understand what Andrew Warnes had done was to manipulate the process of the election because between 2012 to 2016, remember that the 100 days promise wasn't fulfilling. So people now was reading into Andrew Warnes to understand that, no man, be there. You know, like the brother here is a con artist, a political con artist. Yeah, and people started getting the message and people were starting to sensitize that somehow, right, none of what he had promised, you understand, when he gets into power, he has not delivered. So right then and there now, people were turning away from him, right? He had realized that, you know, right, that between that period, you understand, people turning away. Now, when it goes to now the 2020 general election, now the pandemic is what Andrew Owners use and manipulate the system. Because by then, he realized that the older folks, you understand, within the manly heights and the older age, you understand, they were not able to come out and, you know, deals with the COVID-19 situation. It was health and safety first for them. You understand? They were not going to take that risk, right, in terms of coming out. So then, yes.
Put this on it too. So, that one, but two, them did have MC2, them did have a PMP runoff.
Yes.
Dr. Peter Phillips, Dr. Where did the one name? Peter Bunting. And that come out with some people did vex and then the pandemic. So everything. So you remember now, if PMP come out, him can't beat them normally.
Exactly.
They're like 3 to 1.
So
them keep away.
So what's this way?
Smart. So they're now going into the pandemic.
Yeah.
You know. Yes.
So what's this now? So having said that, in terms of how we manipulate the process, using the COVID-19 as a political weapon,
yes.
You understand, shielding off PNP voters,
yes.
You understand, him scrape through again. No.
Don't move from there, so don't move from there. So let me show you a weakness, Byron, and you continue. Don't move from there, so just remember what you said. So yeah. 2016 people, when the vote finished count, the JLP 437,000. That had popular vote, PNP 430, couple hundred. Can we get 867, 800 and nearly 68,000 people out of 1.8 million. Now 2000. But I'm sure I'm not popular. He knows
exactly.
In 2020, after the PNP, them not come out, over 100,000 not come out. So them get 300,000. You know what them get after them spend the money, including SSL money and everything, enough money all over the place, Byron. Them get 407,000 votes. Them lose 30,000.
Yes.
Them lost 30,000. Yeah? So he's not so popular, and at 21% him have right now.
And know.
Not even a quarter. He's not invited, you know. He's not invited.
Exactly.
Not even a quarter prime minister, that brother.
Exactly.
See? And this is what I do to the people them. And go on and continue to tell lie. Continue, my brother.
Yes, but when I look now, what becomes a plain judgment to Andrew Holness, you understand, was the current local government election that gone by. You understand? Because Andrew Holness drew out the 28 accounts, you know, spend millions.
Yes.
You understand? And yet he realized that the local government election did not swing in his favor. It swing in the people's national favor. It's a testimony telling him that the people, the win, the political win has shifted from him now in the PNP favor.
Yes.
Now, Andrew Holness realized now that the mission going down 3 months away from the general election, right? He's trying to do all what he can do, right? All what he can do, the lies and all that, putting, manipulating the system again as it relates to PIOJ, Planning Institute of Jamaica, to come out, tell lie that him cut poverty in half, do all of that manipulating, starting, you understand, to say low unemployment. None of that.
Lie again.
None of that cannot save him, because guess what? People are living the reality on the ground.
Right.
People are seeing the inflation, feeling the pinch of the inflation. Yes.
Let me ask you, how them get that from starting when they think they're not finished or no, 2022, them not have it.
Exactly. I'm going to tell you manipulation.
Unemployment and these things. This is bull crap.
Manipulation.
Because them not remember, you know, if they, you know, do they for them to do that, them not do that all now. Right? Them not do it. So you come out now with bogus data. Bogus, and come tell me, say, yes, it dropped to 3 points. A matter of fact, PIOJ and them come out last year, Byron.
Yes.
Last year in the election, January, and then drop from 5.8 to 4.2. We workforce, you know. Everybody at work. And then come in October the 9th, before the runoff election again, Byron.
Yes.
Drop from 4.2 to 3.5.
Yes, man.
All of these things are lies.
Yeah.
Guess what? They
do the census, you know, people, but them come with this bull crap. I mean, I tell you, most people are us, them us. I'm sure some people want to work.
Yeah, Pastor, we want to say something there.
But I'm putting this before Pastor jump in, Pastor. You see, if you go with a flag, you want a flag, you give them a flag work, them I want it. If you come with a shovel and you prepare something, they want it. So don't wait. And people are us that wipe car glass and sell things that they read. Them don't have no real data on these things, yeah? So all the matter about the lowest is lie. All these are lies. Go to Pastor.
Yeah, they switch out the way they measure unemployment in 2024 with a new system.
Yes.
So this new system could not allow them to compare previous year like 2023. So they had to start fresh from 2024. So what they did was manipulate the numbers to say that unemployment is down now to 3.4%, lower than the US, lower than the UK, lower than Canada, all these first world countries. I mean, but the system is a fraud and it's a flawed because, as everyone agreed, they have not complete the census. So if you don't know how many people, your population growth, and how many people are residing in your country, then every number you put out, every economical data, unemployment data, every data you put out is flawed because it's not capturing the accurate information. And we see that pattern with the crime rate, how they manipulate the numbers when their bodies spread out in 7 different categories and one missing people category is not even included. So, this is a bogus. We're seeing deception from this government at an all-time high. It's playing on the psychologically mindset of the people to rebrand a deflated, hurt, wounded, broken prime minister who's under investigation as if he has done something phenomenal for Jamaica. But the reality reveals on the ground that he's out of touch with the feelings and the afflictions, the sufferings and the hardship of the people. Spending over $2 trillion from 2023 till present, almost $3 trillion US dollars to save one Jamaica dollar. Yet at that time, it was 151 to 1. Now it's 160 to 1. So everything is crumbling, and people just have to analyze the data and don't be deceived. This is a deception government, and they're presenting him as if he has accomplishments. For 9 wasted years, almost a decade, he has no accomplishments to improve the lives of the people of Jamaica. Final point, when you look at institutions that was birthed to Norman Manley, Michael Manley, PJ, Mama P, this prime minister only have SOEs, state of emergency, ZOZO, states of zone operations, NIDS, biometric tracking device system to control population movement. And what have they done to improve the people's life? Absolutely nothing. So the local government election revealed that there is a changing of the sentiments of the people. So he win by 21% in 2020, and he has not done anything to build or increase his base. There's so many disgruntled GLP supporters that said that nah vote, them have a stay home, them all a bun shirt, them have write off them MP. So guess what? I believe that is 21% in 2020, might be 15%. And you can't win a general election with 15%.
Never win.
Exactly.
I'm going to play this. I'm going to play this. And this is the prime minister now, I beg. But here I come to you now and I try to explain to the people them on the ground. I believe this is the man where they show clocks, And this is the man where say, me will turn it up. I may have that too, could I play, but I'm not going to play it and embarrass your honest tonight. I have it. I can turn it up. When I want to turn it down, I'm going to cut off now. Remember, I'm going to cut off now. Me have that too, can't show. Now show it. Me just hear where you are beg now. Me can't believe I you this a beg. And I chat peer bull crap.
Then you cut off the man now. The man must beg now again.
I don't beg I don't know.
Summers with my father in Goshen. You know. I used to walk from Goshen, come down here.
So you used to spend time, but if me play 1 bedroom and 2 bedroom, you live with them and your father, you grew up with them. So no, and that time in Spanish Town, so now you used to go down your father and go send. When you look at now, okay, I remember this team good. I got your dangerous, Me play me this team good enough with us. Yeah, watch out, hear this.
I used to spend summers with my father.
You say grow up with your father and your mother man in a 1 yard in a Spanish Town, brother. So you're gonna a Spanish Town you tell him about.
You have to play that way now, the people in the area.
I used to spend summers with my father in Goshen.
Yes. All right, hearing people.
You know. I used to walk from Goshen, come down here to tend to some a few heads of cattle that we have in a little plot around here. All right, stop talking business, man. You have the right to vote. You have to use that in the wisest way. And so you have to look at track record. Otherwise, what is the meaning of a good performing government?
But you know, you was part of the government perform. What am I say?
I joke this.
When you mash up the whole place, people need to have a hospital. You know much I want the people dead because I'm the one that's on them negligence. You don't have no road and much people crash. You don't have no food for you, too much for your bread now. We have good performing government. And this is what I put in your head. Continue.
If it is not the basis on which you would vote.
It is.
If governments are not going to be rewarded for good performance.
Rewarded. That's why they can't reward you, sir. If you perform good, we don't reward you. But you perform good for yourself. A man build a big house on the hill. The man have how much bank account. Him perform the a matter of fact, I'm right. The government, because when you look on Queenie in which too. When you look on Agintai, when you look on the whole of them, then they perform for the people, then perform as a government for themselves. Continue.
Why should they perform good? If it means nothing, then why would you expect good governance? So you have this valuable right that billions of people around the world do not have. So I urge you to use it wisely.
So now beat him just again and I'm not cut off. And I'm going to talk bull crap. When we finish playing this play, I'm going to dissect.
Examine the track record.
Look, people want to examine my track records too. From 1997, when I'm married, no food, can't buy food for even 50 people. To now, I mean, I've seen another politician go through this answer rich here. When people could put him in the place. Not true, Byron. Not true, Pastor the King. All right, let me continue.
You also have to look at what is being committed to you in the future. Because you're not only voting on the past. You want to hear what else is there for me. Yes, because ultimately you want your vote to improve your circumstances. And since you voted for this government, I can tell you that your circumstances as a country, as a person, would have improved significantly.
The man, I tell you, you were hungry. When I have no food for them, you know, he might tell you, say you improve your circumstances. You don't see this guy, him illusion and you know better. Look where I go to the people, the man, I tell them. Yeah, you know. Yeah, where am I telling you live up now? Yeah, this.
Since you voted for us, you are not faced with any new taxes.
A lie, I tell. Straight up a lie. Everything going up and you pay more taxes and them have new taxes when they put on from 2017 and we show it. So a lie, I tell. Right out flat a lie. Yeah? All right, continue.
Since you voted for us, you have been getting many new highways and many new roads.
Where the new highways and road want to get? Lie again. Many new highways.
Wait. Hold on. Before you go any further, who responsible for the commencing of the highway structures? Not GLP. Remember that GLP went against it, you know. Remember say Siaga went against it, you know. When
highway, brother. Highway, PMP bill highway.
Remember when PMP started it? Siaga said highway can't eat, you know.
Yeah, man.
Remember that? Okay, make him go on.
Yes. So the highway, I'm just but you know, it's a foolishness. You know, it's a PMP bill highway.
Yeah,
change up the place. So you must say not many new highways. Remember, Uncle St. Thomas, he get a blueprint and then mash it up and yam the money. Because that's an highway. Down there, so when man up on highway 2000, when want to take it, you might hear that? Continue.
Since you voted for us, whole heap of new houses, and we have a program called the New Social Housing Program. We are a whole heap of people who live in a shack, some live in a camp.
Whole heap of people. People like less than 20,000 hours. Him say what about people? Him say what about me not talk him 1,000 of them get them the clothes there, you know.
Okay.
At 10,000, you know. You understand? Me not talk like 1,000 or 10,000. You hear what I'm saying? What him talk about social laws, that for sure you say poverty turn up. Listen, if poverty never turn up, you have get social. You hear what I'm saying? When you live in a shack under tree. This is from Andrew one this. Eh? And him say houses. Them not be no, you can't buy house. If him have to turn and I give a cut a ribbon give you. Hey, my brother. My brother. Yeah, what I say, Byron?
Yeah, you see me?
Yeah, me see you, man. I see you good.
But my thing just jump off.
I mean, I see, put up a next one and just screw it back same way. I mean,
let me just clock out and come back in.
Yes.
Oh, you see me now?
Yeah, man, all right.
All right.
Byron, him say them build one per house. Let me make you a little part. And then I give them social houses. The man I won't listen a year.
Any new taxes. Since you voted for us, you have been getting many new highways and many new roads.
I tell, seem just have to repair them, so that's a lie.
Since you voted for us, whole heap of new houses, and we have a program called the New Social Housing Program. We are a whole heap of people who live in a shack, some live in a car, some live on a tree.
People, and the Andrew Holness administration make them people lose where them did live and gone and a tree can't live, you know. This is the state of the place, you know. I don't go 300, little less than 300 labor, I think you also, you know. The common Jamaican I get it, you know. You have to vote for him, I vote for one of the film thing, and then go cut it give up. All gunman, all criminal, up a truck place, me see them give house. Criminal! Me have him rap sheet, you know, me have it. See? Criminal. Me see up the Byron. You hear this? Less than 300 house in card. Him say him give him no force, brother. You hear this? Yes, Byron.
Yeah, but one of my bonafide just called me a while ago since we are on the chat here.
Yes.
And I'm gonna say all I must say a lie I tell because in 2016. Remember, you know, I don't smoke. I'm not a smoker.
Yes.
Right? I don't believe that Wayne is a smoker.
No,
Pastor Ricky is not a smoker.
No.
But the man just called me and the man just said a lie him I tell because in 2016, one stick of cigarette was $15 for one stick of Craveney.
Yeah,
him saying at 2025, check how much for one stick of Craveney. One stick of Craveney for $100.
A lie.
Make it make sense.
But what's your bread?
But what I know? Now, remember, in between 2012 to 2016, right? Now we talk about 2015.
Yes.
Right at the end of Portia tenure. Right? The minimum wage was at 5,000 something or 6,000
6,000 something. 6,000 little, yes.
All right, 6,000 something. If we are to ask the people that in 2015, when the minimum wage was 6,000 and something, the amount of things that they could go to the supermarket and pick up, go to the market and pick up, they cannot do it now. While the minimum wage is what? 15 or 16,000.
Yes.
Right?
You know, yes.
So what the 15 or 16,000 can buy, right, is limited than what the $6,000 in 2012 can buy. So make it make sense, people. You do the maths, people. Make it make sense. You understand? Use this cigarette to show you how inflation.
Yes.
To show you how inflation rise, right? And show you how poverty increase, and show you the pressure that it have. Use the one stick of cigarette in 2015, 16. You could have get one stick of cigarette for $15. But no, other people who out there would buy cigarette, you know, can back me up on this, you know, because them know so no lie I tell when me get it from the real source.
Yeah, but that's true.
You understand? The man said, you understand? One stick of cigarette of $100 now. Look at that.
Byron, me that yes. Too, you know. Me a proper businessman, you know. So me know, you know, some of them things that we talk about and I like me no know. That's why you can back.
What I'm saying, see, Fatty Brown say, set yourself 120 in some places.
Backside.
See that? See, look on Fatty Brown night chat.
Yeah,
Fatty Brown say itself for 120 in some places.
But by the way, Byron, when you look for a pound of goat meat for $2,000, it tell you the state of the country. them who you could have buy goat can't buy it now, you know.
Aye.
If you work $3,000, member, you have your family, you can't buy it.
Guess what? The purchasing power in 2015 versus or 2016 versus today is different. So back then, cost of living was much lower, even though inflation was lower, cost of living was lower, and minimum wage was lower. Yes. Under this government, cost of living is so high, inflation is high,
so high,
and the minimum wage cannot measure or justify the life that people would like to live, and people are suffering. So when you look at in 2016, when the promises that he made, promising the people prosperity, changing their lives to make it better, and they bought into the lies and the deception that he sold them, but instead them enriching themselves and never do nothing to help the people. So what you might come with now, I said them give a house as father loan, some say close to 300 house him give under his indigent program. The NHT them take $11.4 billion annually every year annually to fund to beef up the budget. Yes. So NHT is not allowing people who have been paid into it now. It's hard for them to get no benefit from it for building house. So affordable housing is out of reach for the people in Jamaica. When Emma advertised also myself for 22 million, 30 million, 40 million, a theme also him use taxpayers' money and bill and them dirty money when him wash and make it become clean money. And his houses that him advertised is for foreigners, for investors. It's not for Jamaicans. It's not for the average people in Jamaica. They can't afford it. Low wages, one last point. In the Caribbean, Jamaica ranks #2 behind Haiti in low wages. And in the Caribbean, the politicians in Jamaica are the highest paid politicians.
That's true.
So think about how the people that must suffer. A loaf of bread now almost $900, I was told. Versus in 2015, a loaf of bread was $170. I mean $250. So you see, as Omar Azan said, even businesses purchasing power has been cut in half under this government. The economy is struggling, it's stagnated, it's in a recession. So when him go, this guy is the father of, the devil is the father of lies, but this guy is the son of the devil, bro devil, who is a pathological liar. And as I often said, him can't tell the truth. Even if him have an option or a choice to tell the truth that would make him win the election, him still would lose because him cannot tell the truth. And so the deception, the level up, Father Lonesome, Sir Byron, more time I have to pray for Jamaica labor rights, the supporters them. Because them a ring bell, them a cheer, them a celebrate, and them hungry, them broke, them a suffer. MP of them a depend on them like them are them parents and disrespect them some kind of way or them talk to them. And this is the perception when we run around to the people them, and the Jamaican people them are suffer. Labor rights are suffer, comrades are suffer, UIC are suffer, up the other party are suffer, Rastaman are suffer, Maroons are suffer. Everybody in Jamaica suffer under this government. It bring poverty. One last point. The United Nations poverty, this define poverty as anyone who makes $1.90 to $2.15 US per hour. When we did the math, that's $1.90 to $2.15 for $15,000 a year minimum wage, which is going to change on Sunday to $16,000 June the 1st. One is 15,000 is equivalent to $94 a week US. Nobody can survive on $94 US a week, but yet that's the minimum wage. And hotel workers are making $83 an hour. $2 an hour is equivalent to $83 an hour with no benefits. And it's not permanent work, it's contract work. So this prime minister is a pathological liar who delivered nothing but poverty to the Jamaica people and substandard life of living. People cannot even afford steak or chicken or oxtail or curry mutton. Them can't afford it. What they might live off a chicken neck, chicken bop, tin mackerel. I mean, that is not going to give them the nutritional value in their body. The United Nations says almost 2 million people go to bed hungry, including children at night without a balanced nutritional meal. So the heart of deception. This prime minister is wicked, cruel, brutal, evil to know that him have the people them in bondage, poverty, financial constraints and restraints. They don't have any purchasing power. Taxi fare gone up, bus fare gone up, and yet them have school pitting for send go school. A peer struggling to go on to Jamaica. And that's why I'm going to the box of Garden House and Jamaica House.
I'll show him something. I finished with a little less than a minute.
Get them new house. So the country has improved without question. But we are committing to you.
It's the country improve when people are pay poverty. This is the man I tell you, come to you and I look vote. If the country improve, him don't need to talk to nobody. And this is a reality. He never even need to come out. People that see him and I run and attack him and say, yes, because my life improve. He might come tell you, say your life improve. People live on that tree. That make your life improve. That for sure you him take the country and put it on its knees. And that tree not care and that kind of thing.
Is that we are going to use the dividends of the good economy.
What the good economy there? Look how I slap him again. Hear this.
To get your road and your water.
So and people, remember him go like, someone I idiot. You might go like road and water is a free thing and you don't have the job. Or you pay for road. Or you pay for water. You might tell you get your road. But you can't even suffer, you don't have the food to eat. So you don't have to watch at him for just patch or him for patch. Yes? But you must say get your water. If water commission come get water, you have to pay for it. Eh?
Yeah, you have to have a meeting.
Fixed in your local community.
No, let go, bro. This is the lie where I tell you. They come move him, brother. They come move him and put up Richard. They come put up Azan. They could hear where I'm just say, brother, and compare it with Azan here. But I have to compare it with Azan. Yes, Aja. I could listen where Azan them say right now. I could listen where Azan I say. Because that guy, him very dangerous, Him very dangerous, and Byron.
Evil and wicked.
Yeah, very dangerous. Him just tell us the economy and fix him a gear road and water. For the good economy. The economy when I have the money, we are big, we have a winner, that's for hold up the place, brother. Eh? You ever seen anybody so lie yet, brother? Eh? Nobody can so lie, brother. Let me see this, Azan. Come on. Let me see this, Omar and all this. Hear this, people.
Police
hear this.
I'm Deidre Ann Gordon with the Midday News. Chief Executive Officer of Boss Furniture Omar Azan says the Jamaican economy is in the worst position it has ever been and has blamed poor economic policies for the country's stagnant growth.
People, now, Andrew, that's kind of country, I tell them the economy good. Them money, I am supplying for coats, And I'm one of the biggest supplier coats furniture, Plus, I'm film thing, them I'm supplying overseas, Hear this.
Mr. Azan's negative view of the economy comes against the background of discussions on the failure of commercial banks to reduce their lending rates to their customers, despite the Bank of Jamaica reducing its policy rate. Following a further reduction in the policy rate last week from 6% to 5.75%, BOJ Governor Richard Bowles and Finance Minister Favour Williams urged commercial banks to follow suit. But speaking today today on the morning agenda on Power 106, Mr. Razan said the BOJ and policymakers need to shoulder some of the blame. He says the BOJ took too long to reduce its rate while trying to control inflation, adding that policymakers need to intervene to change the culture of banking in Jamaica.
I'm not saying I'm not blaming the commercial banks because they have a big part to play in lowering their rates. But what I'll say to you, just like any other businesses operating out there, when you have a devalued currency and the dollar moves to 165 or 162 to 1, and you buy your goods and services or your raw materials and you bring it in, it takes a while for the pass-through effect to take place. So I'm not sure how the banking sector operates and if there's what they call a timing thing that needs to happen. But, you know, yes, the Bank of Jamaica needs to pressure them, but I think more needs to be done to get our rates and policies in place to allow banks to lend money, to allow businesses to be competitive on the global sphere.
Chief Executive Officer of Boss Furniture, Omar Razan. In the meantime, turning to the state of the economy, Mr. Razan says businesses and consumers are struggling due to high interest rates. He says banks will soon be in a similar position.
Everything's going to start going haywire, and I'll tell you something, the government better call election quickly because the balloon is about to blow.
What do you hear that, people? Not my word.
The economy is in the worst position that I have ever seen it in my 30-odd years of business.
But only is a good economy, man. Give people that. Only is a take people for that, Byron. Yeah.
The buying power is the weakest. Remittances are down. Tourism is struggling. Everything is struggling. And what are we doing? We're doing things to stifle the economy with our monetary policies coming from the Bank of Jamaica and the Ministry of Finance. People out there that are living and working in Jamaica may all seem fine and dandy when the politicians step out on stage and speak high and mighty of how great the economy is doing. But look at how many hungry people are out there that are...
Yeah, this for yourself, people, not my word.
Yeah.
I want thing with Titans on you, so you know. Because my brother like now wake up yet, and must just wake up and now bother Lagan. I remember a different time. So I take him away tonight. But anyway, I'm tired too, man. But hear this, Byron. Hear this. I know we remember all this just the same fixed economy, you know, brother. And here the man them really run the economy or spend the money in a dry and them I tell you at the weakest him ever see it in a 30 odd years from him start this thing. This to show you Andrew only still a go and tell people lie. You brother?
Exactly.
Yeah, business and small business is the backbone of every economy. And if them are struggle, then imagine.
Can you imagine? You might say it. Yes, Byron.
Yeah, but when you have the Prime Minister coming out to try to convince, right, the Jamaican people that the economy is doing fine. And while he's doing that, you have what we call the arcades of the economy. You understand, the CEOs, right, of, you know, huge companies. They are coming out, right, and they are going contrary to what the Prime Minister said. Exactly. While the Prime Minister is saying that the economy is up and doing and vibrant, they are saying that the economy is in a bind. And so then, I mean, you have to believe, right, the economic giants as it relates to these CEOs who are in the business for years. You understand, and understand the climate of the market. And when they speak, right, you have to hear what they have to say.
Yes.
Right, and you have to believe what they say because they are the ones with the experience and they know what the market is giving, right? And so then I don't understand. But the thing what confused me and get me so upset that what Jamaican people must realize that Andrew Holness now, after 9 years, Andrew Holness is saying that his administration is going to, speaking in future tense.
Yes.
If you have been there 9 years,
yes,
right, you have gotten 2 terms, yes, right, to prove yourself, right? You are 2 terms at the helm, and within that 2 terms, nothing being achieved. Your first 100 days worth of promise, nothing has been cheap. You have been there 9 years and you can't show one school. Think of it as it relates to the education system. Not one school that your administration can say that, yes, we built this school. 9 years, 9 years. And now you're facing a general election. You're now telling the people that you're going to build schools. You're going to build school after 9 years. Now let us go to health. The health sector damaged by his minions. You understand? Take a tough time, right? Use Meditech, right, to damage the healthcare. Now, when you look at that, Cornwall Regional Hospital that started at $2 billion, refurbishing of people. I could put it in the people's head because the people might believe, say, okay, the money that allotted was to build a new hospital. We are talking about to refurbish. Refurbish. $2 billion to refurbish.
Yeah.
And the $2 billion for refurbish. 2025, May 29th, May 29th. Today as we speak, people, Cornwall Regional Hospital, right, had spent partially $27 billion that allotted for it. And Cornwall Regional Hospital has not been completed. And they are now in the process of wanting to add more $1 billion on the $27 billion. Make it make sense to people. And all of that money spent, right, just for Cornwall Regional Hospital alone, if you look through the entire healthcare system, many of the hospitals need proper bedding, MIR machine, right? You name it, right? Other surgical machines, you name it, right? And yet, Tufton will tell you that his ministry spend the most money within the ministry. No, you can't make it up, people.
Chop the most.
No, all right. Let us ride on the narrative. Now, in Portia Simpson time, Portia Simpson administration has not spent half as it relates to what the Jamaica Labour Party administration spent, particularly the Ministry of Health. And people weren't feeling this. People were getting proper health care. Point to prove, the United States, right, during Portia Simpson period, 2012 to 2016, Pastor Ricky and Lonesome, right, did not see the need to send a travel advisory. Because, of course, right, I mean, they were getting the basic necessities, you understand, where people, you know, okay, you know, more could be done, but at least, right, people were getting service, right? Now, brought forward to the Jamaica Labour Party administration. It is twice that the United States had issued travel advisory for the Jamaica Labour Party administration as it relates to health and security. So then they tell me now, when you look on the performance as it relates to, let us do some comparison and contrast here. Now, when you look on the Portia Simpson period as it relates to security, we are talking about crime, particularly crime, right? And let us zoom in, right, to number 3, or we call it murder, right? We are not going to say it again. Number 3, just for people to understand. So when we say number 3, that's what we mean. Now, particularly when it comes to number 3, between 2012 to 2015, when you check all of what number 3 took place in Jamaica, right? You will realize that if you compare Andrew Holness' administration, right, for the 2 years, we are going to be fair to him. We are talking about comparing Andrew Holness 2 years and compare Portia Simpson 2 years. What will you find, people? This is what you are going to find. You are going to find that under Andrew Holness 2 years, right, being dealing with the crime situation, right, more number 3 committed under Andrew Holness administration.
Yeah.
In comparison to Portia Simpson's 2 years.
Yeah.
So what I tell you, remember that prior to Andrew Holness came into power, and Andrew Holness was critiquing, right, the Minister of National Security, then I believe was Peter Bunting, right? What he said to Jamaica on his campaign, he said that if you vote for him, you'll be able to sleep with your window open and your door open. I would ask Jamaican people right now, right, if they want to try that. Go and try. Jamaican people, do you want to sleep with your door open, your window and door open? Can you do it right now? Right, go and try. Now, let me tell you something. After all the spinning what Andrew Holness spinning, right? The thing about this Jamaica, let us be serious and smart with our decision making, right? Because Jamaica, let me say it this way. Jamaican people, your vote is important. Your vote is not for a $5,000. You know what your vote is for? That finger that you have there, that you are going to put the X beside the N. Because you can't put it anywhere else. So let me speak clearly. That finger that you are going to put the X beside the N is saying that you are going to vote for good performance, a government with transparency, a government that deals with honesty and most of all, integrity. Integrity that matters. Let us speak to Jamaica about something that we need to take a deep dive in. Just imagine, my Jamaican people, that our national debt, let me just sensitize Jamaican people. Our national debt is somewhere near 2.5, 2.6 trillion dollars. But Jamaica people, what has happened to us? That we have a kleptocratic government, a banana republic, a set of thieves, to say the least, a set of thieves and corrupted people.
Yes, sir.
Right? Who hold the Jamaican people at ransom. I call it political ambush. Politically ambush the Jamaican people with their corruption. Jamaican people, the Auditor General is unable to account for $3 trillion. $3 trillion. Now, when we see a particular culture that exists as it relates to medtech, where you look on a simple drill that barely partially value, little bit, to $300,000. $300,000 Jamaica. Let us think about this. Let us think about this. And you have the GLP administration committee, whatever committee that is, saying that they are in alignment and in agreement with the procurement process, right? And the purchase of this drill. This drill. You see that something is wrong.
Criminals.
Wrong. There's a systemic problem.
Criminals.
They are saying, let me say this, Jamaica. If the Jamaica Labour Party administration, right, want to take Christopher Dawes to court.
Alfred
right, to highlight the wrong, the big wrong that, because let me say to Jamaica what Daz is defending. What Daz is defending, Daz is saying that Jamaica, our healthcare system is in a dilapidated mood. We need as much basic necessities, right, so that we can offer the necessary service in the hospital. But the wicked vampire system decided that no, make we execute them and done, make we kill them and done. And when you look at one drill, that if they show empathy, if they exercise some sympathy, if they were putting themselves in the shoes of those patients, if they understand the care and the need and showing that passion, they would make a decision like this. The permanent secretary would have made a decision like this. The permanent secretary would have ensured that the person who do this sort of billing or internal costing to the drill, the permanent secretaries would have ensured that they do the research as it relates to the pricing of the drill. And when you see the pricing of the drill that merely costs $300,000, the Jamaica Labour Party in agreement. People look at the level of wickedness and cruelty that the Jamaica Labour Party is in agreement in saying that there is nothing wrong with the procurement process. They are saying that what the price of the markup price of the drill, the Midas drill, worth it. They are saying, my Jamaican people, that it's worth it. While we look on the internet, we have seen that even the highest cost of that drill, if you are talking about the 800, it would have cost, say the highest, let us put the highest on it, $5 million. Their markup price is $31 million, my Jamaican people. Let us ask. Let us ask. We could now buy 5 or 6 brand new drills that well needed, you know. We could now purchase 5 or 6 brand new drills. But people, remember, wake up, let me sensitize you. It is not a brand new drill that we have gotten. No, we have gotten a refurbish. My Jamaican people, that is only an insight of what is happening to many ministries. The extra wickedness, the apex predator, Tufton in corruption. The apex predator in corruption, Tufton, Christopher Tufton. He's saying, don't pay attention to the cost, but pay attention to the service of the drill. Like seriously, Tufton, did you really say something like this? Did you really say that, sir? Why are we, let me ask you a question. Why are we not to pay any attention to the cost? I will understand that you will remain in dead silence. But let me tell you why we need to pay attention to the cost. We need to pay attention to the cost. Because guess what? It could have purchased more than 5 of those drills and would have gotten more service in other areas. And it could have assisted much more other persons. That's why the cost is important. That's why the cost is important. And so then now, with your sense of naivety, you will say, no, Will you underestimate the intelligence of the Jamaican people? Will you who believe that the Jamaican people, they are daft, they don't understand what we are doing? So we can come out and we can tell them any bullshit that fly out of our mouth. And they will believe you. Just like Andrew Holness now can go to any countryside and tell anybody that Jamaica economy is doing good. Even when the CEOs are telling him, me case call the election.
Yeah.
Because people want to vote you out. When the CEO, they are telling him, look at the master, hurry up and call the election and make the people vote you out. Because the policies are wrecking the economy. And
matter of fact, remember finish being the CEO, the other one, I make Pastor Ricky come in. Hear the other one, yeah, hear this.
Are struggling. How many businesses are finding it hard, right? So we need to start waking up the government, the opposition.
Chief Executive Office of Boss Furniture Omar Azan. In its latest report on Jamaica's economy last week, the Planning Institute of Jamaica said it grew by 0.8% in the March 2025 quarter, marking its exit from technical recession. The PIOJ said the turnaround was driven by rising consumer confidence, increased employment.
No, we are Boss Furniture tell us they don't have the confidence. And he must say it by rising consumer confidence. The people them have nobody buy from them. So consumer confidence rise. Consumer who consume the things them in a better. Or it rise when them have no money for buying nothing better.
Exactly. And stronger external demand. Close to 2 months after the 10% tariff on goods exported from Jamaica to the United States took effect, Chief Executive Officer of the separate group, Richard Pandoe, says from a supply chain standpoint, the impact on manufacturers has been worse than during the COVID-19 pandemic. Mr. Pandoe says his company has been trying to find
just separate in the people after they say it's worse. And just a good economy.
Alternative markets. Describing supply chain shocks during and post-COVID as a nightmare, the Seprod CEO says businesses are having a harder time sourcing and receiving products.
During COVID, a lot of production went down, so supplies were actually available. Some commodity price went through the roof, obviously, but the fact is that the reality of today, and I've been saying this for at least a year and a half, 2 years now, that our supply chain disruptions are actually worse now.
So who's most at risk now? MSMEs?
The MSMEs are always at risk. I mean, the smaller you are, the bigger you're risking, right?
Chief Executive Officer of Separate Group Richard Pandoe responding to Smile Jamaica host Simone Clark. He says Jamaican manufacturers are in wait-and-see mode whether U.S. consumers will purchase their goods at increased costs.
The consumers in the U.S. are facing price increase on a number of items, from their electronics to this, whatever. They're going to look at their basket and say, boy, should I buy Supergen? Is that a necessity or is that nice to have? Maybe instead of picking up 3, they pick up 1. So right now, I mean, I'm just coming from the US last week, meeting a lot of the CEOs for different companies. Everybody, they've asked us first, absorb it. Of course, you can absorb it.
Yeah, that's what.
For example, the lobster come from Jamaica. First thing, absorb it. We cannot absorb it. And therefore, the price is being passed through for the most part. And there's a waiting to see how the consumers react.
Yes, Pastor Ricky.
Yeah.
So yourself.
Yeah.
We talk about the economy, but not go so. And just you might look vote and now work. Yes, Pastor Ricky.
Yeah. My fellow Jamaicans, the country is in a recession. Jamaica is in a recession. Don't believe the lies of this criminal prime minister and his government. They don't want you to know the truth. The country is in a recession. When you hear the backbone of the economy, these CEOs are crying out publicly, not privately, but publicly. They're sharing what the government is hiding from you. Boilers says for the first time, they've been in business for decades and they have never suffered a loss. But for the first time, they loss accumulate to $1 billion. Boilers chicken. Richard Pandoe of Scepter just stated that they have never seen the supply chain at such disadvantage, not even during COVID. And they are looking, for other alternative routes to ship or export their products. And he's saying that, listen, we mark up our price because of the 10% tariff of the United States imposed on us. But we're at a wait and see, stand still, because we're wondering if the American consumers are going to purchase at a higher rate our goods coming into their country. What the Prime Minister has failed to do is to implement robust policies to stimulate growth. Instead of denying that the country's in a recession, he should have came and just level with the people and say, listen, we're experiencing a recession. And the recession wasn't caused because of burial. I lie them I tell. The recession is caused from corruption. As Sir Byron says, $3 trillion them thief from the treasury. The purchasing power, as Amar Azan say, is cut in half by 50%. If the businesses are suffering at this level, imagine what the consumers are suffering. Because the consumer is the one who feeds the business by purchasing their goods and services. And if they can't afford to purchase goods and services from the business, that means business confidence is down, and that means consumer confidence is down. These indicators, business confidence is suffering and consumer confidence is suffering, are huge indicators that the economy is in trouble. Not the next point, the BOJ, Amar has been screaming, this is his second time putting out something in the public domain, that the BOJ needs to cut interest rate and allow policies to extend loans to the consumers, so when the consumers get those loans, they can come back and spend it in the business to help the business to thrive, to recover. But they're not doing that. So listen, we have a prime minister and a government that only cares about themselves. They lack sympathy, they lack empathy, they lack compassion. They don't understand what it feels to be hungry. Them people that live on Beverly Hills are look down upon the poor people them in the inner cities. Them people that only walk amongst the people when it's election time. You don't see them until election is almost due. So when them come around you with deceptive lies to deceive you, to paint a picture that the sky is green, the sky is blue, the birds are singing, the air is fresh, the water is clean, everything is great, nothing is wrong. I lie the bloggers them I tell, I lie social media tell. But you, the people on the ground, is going to bed hungry. I eat chicken butt, I eat chicken neck, I eat tin mackerel, I eat sardine, and can't buy the things you would love to eat, like lobster and shrimp and steak and oxtail and curry goat. This is what the Prime Minister has done to you all in Jamaica. And it's time that you wake up, Jamaica. It's time that you think critically and ask yourself this question. Are you better off today in 2025 than you were 10 years ago in 2015? Can you compare the cost of goods and services in 2020 and 2015 to 2025? Do you still have the same purchasing power that if you were making $6,000 in minimum wage in 2015 and you were able to sustain your family and buy food, pay your bills, and pay a taxi fare and bus fare? Do you still have that purchasing power today? You don't. Why? Because cost of living, every time the dollar depreciates, it raises cost of living. And even if the dollar dropped by 20, 30, 40 cents by the end of the week, the prices went up because of cost of living, the dollar depreciate. But them don't bring down back the price at the wholesale or the supermarket. So this is something you have to ask yourself the question. As this government, have they improved your life in any way, shape, or form? Getting $5,000, $10,000 from your MP a bag of cement, a bag of fertilizer, a bag of chicken feed, or 10 chicken has not improved your life. We're talking over a decade, almost 9 years. Since 2016 till today, has your life improved financially? Are you financially stable? Do you have reserve in your bank account that if you had an emergency situation, you can tap into those reserve and pay for those emergency services? Do you have that? Or what's your purchasing power? Can you afford a home? A $40 million home, a $30 million home? The people are, if the answers to these questions are no, then you need to change government. Back over to you, Father Lords. You're muted.
Lonesome, Mike.
You're muted. Pinocchio.
Lonesome sound.
Yeah, you can hear me now?
Yeah, we are here now.
All right. So let me tell you now, we have to drop a new picture with Andrew on this because, you know, too much lie. So it huge, but it'll grow out more now. Pinocchio. You see it? Yes. The more I lie and tell, it'll grow more with the lies. And when I lie, I come and show one of these things here. All right, Byron. I'm Pastor Ricky. You don't know, so dead man Mackenzie say he must sue. Remember, I'm a minister, you know. He must sue Damien Crawford for the pan campaign and say something about him. You ever hear anything about this?
So I never sue Slag for beating.
Let me put it up here. Let me put it up. This unbelievable. Look on this.
Oh, madman that man.
We are going to mash him up, you know, because look on this, brother. Because Damien, no, but you see, I don't know if them want to stop people from talk. Look here.
And that they want to do.
Lawsuit for a meeting hosted by Opposition People National Party at Portmore Community College. On March 2nd, 2025, Deadman Mackenzie, claimed that the public meeting contained words that were false and defamatory to him, resulting in injury and loss and damaging. Injury, loss, and damaging. No, well, I know about hear this now. Now, if him come and tell us, say, they're on a platform, when me hear them tell, I say, if you vote for the PMP, you are going dead. Right. And some things were anxious about PMP and all, baby, dreaming. You know, if you can give people lawsuit for that, you'll give them lawsuit. Now, I play that too, you know. Look here. We can finish with dead man, I say, yeah, so we give him all of them problems. I'm going to see the dead man. But once, I can open it and see what I'm saying to him. Yeah? They're unbelievable now, you know. Yeah? On platform. But only to go out and I tell people and it not hurt them. The whole of we have to sue one is and sue dead man and sue the one of them then, brother. Eh? Look on this now, brother. Dead man Mackenzie, West Kingston Member of Parliament and Minister of Local Government, has filed a defamation lawsuit against opposition Senator Damien Crawford. Mackenzie claimed during a political meeting on March 2nd, 2025, Crawford defamed him. The statement widely shared online allegedly harmed Mackenzie personal and professional reputation, causing embarrassment and public disperse. Then this man have embarrassment. You think you can come at about your opponent, can this and you swim? The lawsuit claim the remarks imply criminal conduct and unfitness for public office. So you have criminal conduct, you're criminal. You're unfit for your public office if you commit criminal act. So at this, Byron, the criminal conduct and unfitness for public office, at this get him, Mackenzie said Crawford acted maliciously and ignored a demand for retraction and apology. He's seeking damages, including aggregated and exemplary damages, plus legal costs and interest. If you have a drunk crop, at the time you have try rush back run you back, we know if you run you. The last week follows a meeting hosted by Opposition People National Party at Portmore Community Center, March the 2nd, 2025. Mackenzie claimed that the public meeting contained words that were false and defamatory to him, resulting in injury and loss and damage. You favor drunk again. So you have to be saying you favor drunk up. Eh? You ever hear anything like this, my brothers?
Well, I mean, I don't understand this because, I mean,
Crawford... play this before you even say something. Sorry if you interrupt me, but I'm going to play this.
Government does not hear about your health. I hear the spirit of a little baby crying, saying, why did the people keep the Labour Party government in? If the Labour Party government was in, I would still be alive. I hear the spirit of the babies that have died because of the
So the PNP can't swim for this then? Eh?
No, but...
Andrew this. Can't tell them most. A dead man them too, you know. Be alive them tell you.
All right. I could look on the statement they were... Because I have to switch from Mackenzie right now and go to what the Prime Minister just said.
Yes.
The Prime Minister claimed that a little girl approached him.
A baby.
A baby approached him.
You don't know if it's a baby.
Right? Mm-hmm. And said that if the Jamaica Labour Party was in power, right, the crime wouldn't be so high.
She wouldn't have dead.
All right? And she wouldn't be whatever. Okay. Now, when I look at that, the Prime Minister narrative is to say that the People's National Party, right, doesn't have crime under control. That's the reason why he's saying that, because of that narrative, right?
Politicize it.
Yes. You know, I mean, sending red meat to his base. Now, but when you look at the statistics, right, you want to ask the Prime Minister now if that CM little dead baby is dreaming to him. And I would like to know what that baby is dreaming to him and say to him right now. Because when you compare the crime stat, Lonzo, if you have it, in terms of showing the people what we are talking about.
Remember just put up Andrew one personally because right? I didn't see that one day, but now put up this is the worst thing ever happened.
When you compare,
Peter, Mama move this.
Yeah.
Mama put back this. You see this?
Yeah. The man is a careless failure.
This is a big failure, no better. I figure a dead people.
Murder Prime Minister. Him are the murder Prime Minister.
Yes. Yeah.
Most murder on the film watch.
Yeah, so that is what?
From 2016 to 2024. Not 25, you know. We're not give no. These are the worst two-term government in the history of Jamaica.
Yeah.
9 years.
Them are dead people.
All right, show Jamaican public Portia Simpson 2-term.
Me show them. So me not put it like this. But them know sir are 4,570.
Okay.
So one term.
One term, yeah.
Right?
4,000, you know. Me not say
yeah. Portia Simpson 1 term. Yes. But when you look at this, you'd have to divide that. You'd have to divide that by 2 to get Andrew Holness 1 term. It passed Portia Simpson.
Long time.
6,000, yeah.
Because you're talking about maybe 6,000. 240. Right? I was looking at it. 6,240 little bit.
Right.
So,
me not count 2025 none at all, and me just count the 24.
Yeah. Yeah, then that is
me just slow it.
That if you divide that by 2 now, you understand? You'd have compared now with Portia Simpson 4 years.
Yes.
Because Portia Simpson 4 years is 4,000 odd.
Yeah, 4,000.
Is 4 years gone over 6,000 odd?
Yeah, man.
So then, no, why am I talking for? Why am I saying? Hold on. So when it comes to performance, who the people, which part of the people them need to put in? This speaks for itself.
They must speak for themselves.
This speak for itself.
Yes.
Right? Clear as day. That when it comes to good governance, right, you put in the party that's showing the better result. That's how you go.
Actually, let me just jam in this, because we have around 6 minutes by round, but let me jam in this in because him say my going good, and we can't get another jam in this by round. We have to jam in this. Watch this. Look on this. I'm hearing people. And look on real fast. Watch this.
We know that there is a generation of Jamaicans who were not born in the 1970s. And they have no clue as to how the other party destroyed Jamaica. They have no clue. There is a generation born in the 90s and the early 2000s. They have no clue as to how the 18 and a half years of the PNP destroyed Jamaica.
Interesting statement, Prime Minister. Let's look at some of the destruction you said the PNP caused.
And people, when they talk about us and that tree, we make us sleep on that. I think like this for benefit to all of Jamaica we want to see him talk about, yeah?
Right.
And let's see if Jamaica would be better off without it.
The Rural Agricultural Development Authority, RADA 1990, committed to promoting the development of agriculture in Jamaica.
Let me just stop that a minute. So man, they carrying this 1990 Michael Monday, right? But tell me what, at them rabbit 54 million the other day when them use RADA and then send out some fertilizer and rab, right, Byron?
Exactly.
Right. Let me continue.
To enhance the national economy and improve the quality of life of rural farm families. That's gone. The Office of the Utilities Regulation, OUR, 1997, was established to regulate the operations of utility companies in Jamaica. That's gone too. The Jamaica Urban Transit Company, 1998, revolutionized the public transport service within the Kingston Metropolitan Transport Region, Spanish Town, and Portmore. There goes a main part of Jamaica's transport system. But wait, what about Jamaica's first state-of-the-art transport hub for the corporate area, the Halfway Tree Transport Center, that opened in 2008? Are you seeing a trend here? The regulation of the telecoms industry. In 1999, there was only 5% mobile phone subscribers, totaling 120,000 people. This change broke the monopoly, brought new players to the market, introduced prepaid service, lower prices for handsets, and by 2007, there was 100% penetration. That would be simply no more. The Highway 2000 was initialized to connect to Jamaica via a comprehensive highway system, upgrade Jamaica's infrastructure, provide economic opportunities for growth, and create jobs. For the hundreds of thousands of Jamaicans that rely on these highways, can you imagine life without them? The PATH program, 2001, allocated through the Ministry of Labour and Social Security, the Program of Advance Through Health and Education PATH is a conditional cash transfer CCT program aimed at delivering benefits to the most needy and vulnerable in society. Say goodbye to that as well. The National Environment and Planning Agency, NEPA, 2001. That was created to promote sustainable development by ensuring protection of the environment and orderly development in Jamaica. Without it, our watersheds, mangroves, and areas like our cockpit country would all be without protection. That's gone too. The Emancipation Park, 2002. This lush 7-acre landscape was created to be a reminder of Jamaica's emancipation, freedom from bondage, and a reminder to excel, a green space in the city that, yep, you guessed it, you have to say goodbye to this beautiful oasis. The National Health Fund, 2003. This fund helps improve patient experiences, prescription services, and access to medicine in Jamaica, as well as inpatient and outpatient pharmacy services for the public health sector, infrastructure development, and much more. You guessed it, that would be gone as well.
So, Byron, maybe let's stop a quick thing before this turn. I'm going to play one more. You notice when PNP put something in it, it benefits for everybody.
Yeah.
The fund, these things, everything where them put in benefit. Man, I tell about us, when give less than 300. I talk about you live on that. Hey, honestly, go away now.
Them only the things paper right.
Go away, man.
Yeah.
Without the major upgrades to Sabina Park in 2005 and the creation of the Trelawney Multi-Purpose Stadium in 2007, and the Montego Bay Sports Complex, otherwise known as the Catherine Hall Sports Complex, in 2010.
Tourism Enhancement Fund, 2005. That was established to lead tourism innovation in the areas of infrastructural and sustainable projects.
If you listen to them use this enough to, and to them,
Human capital development and tourism linkages. Gone with the wind. While we're on the topic of tourism, say adios to all the fancy Spanish hotels that bring in so many of our tourists and provide jobs. Thanks to the Master Plan for Sustainable Tourism Development in...
By the way, the master plan now, me start talk about pay master plan from the other day, I mean, I tell them, it when you pay a master plan, stop it, Anjo. You can't thief everything, so.
2002. And the Falmouth Cruise Shipping Pier that began development in 2009 and brought a record number of tourists to Jamaica. Say later to that as well. Let it not be forgotten that in those 18 years, education was a major
Ask Anjo how much schooling bill.
priority. As a result, 64 schools were built and refurbished.
64 built and refurbished, yeah.
Including 70 new basic, primary and high schools in Western Jamaica between 2004 and 2005. As well as Greater Portmore High School in 1995, Ascot 1997 and Cumberland 2000. Disappear. Now I don't know about you, but it looks like the PNP spent 18 years laying a good foundation that Jamaica, including the current government, is benefiting from.
By the way, if you're watching this using a community hotspot or broadband, you can thank the PNP and the establishment of the Universal Access Fund that later developed into the Universal Service Fund, which provides free community Wi-Fi and hotspots island-wide. Oh no, that means you will have to say goodbye to this.
No, tell me now. I mean, I want more play with Andrew. So him talking foolishness, Byron. We have to give him this. We have a Nikisha Burchell, where she correct him when I have to. Yes. We have to play the Nikisha, but Nikisha they know. We do have for the Nikisha, yeah, because the guy am dangerous. You understand? Andrew honest. You can't continue going around and I tell them to, to look on where and what do and all. Do nothing better. And tell them something good, we're good. We're good. All they do is go around and talk crap. Look here now, look here again. Get it.
Hello there. Welcome to another episode of The Breakdown. I'm Nikisha Burchell, the MP candidate for South St. James and your Shadow Minister for Information and Public Communication. Today, we're breaking down a clip posted by the Honorable Prime Minister Andrew Holness on the X platform, formerly known as Twitter. He wants to talk about achievements. Yeah. Well, let's talk about the facts.
So yes, my laborer, this election is about who will continue to build out the highways, who will continue.
Sorry, Mr. Prime Minister, I had to stop you right there. Who will continue to build the highway? So who started them? Remember the East-West Highway? North Coast Highway? PNP did all of that, Prime Minister. The highway, well, rather the roadway built under your tenure, connecting Harborview to St. Thomas, is so poorly done that it couldn't withstand the rains we had recently. Remember? But don't worry. When we get back to office, I'm pretty sure that we will not just continue to build highways, but we will improve Jamaica's interior road network as well. And we will maintain it. We won't let the roads go for years without maintenance and months before an election to just patch up here and patch up there just because election is around the corner.
Who will continue to build out the hospitals?
No, I have to stop you there again, Mr. Prime Minister. No, sir. Hospitals? You must be talking about Cornwall Regional Hospital, where after $28 billion and almost 7 years of chaos, the people still don't have a working hospital. Just big dollars being spent for an official opening ceremony for an administrative building. You really say hospital, sir?
Who will continue to build out the schools?
And schools? Come on now. Also, again, what schools have you built, sir? Remember, you are a former Minister of Education and a Prime Minister that spent 2 terms in office. Not one school has been built under your tenure. Tell me a high school you built or a primary school. We can't relate, sir, because over here, sir, we say education and we can list the schools we've built under the People's National Party.
Who will continue to buy the new buses? Who will continue to buy the new garbage truck?
Hold on there. Hey, Siri.
Hey, Nikisha.
Who built the JUTC and created the National Solid Waste Management Authority?
The Jamaica Urban Transit Company, JUTC, was established in July 1998 to transform public transportation in the Kingston metropolitan area by the People's National Party. The National Solid Waste Management Authority, NSWMA, was established under the National Solid Waste Management Act 2001 and became operational in March 2002 by the People's National Party.
Exactly. We're not new to this. We're true to this. To you, man. Systems were created by the People's National Party. You're just not maintaining them, Andrew. And under the PNP, we'll modernize, strengthen, and expand them because we built with future generations in mind, not for the front page pictures. It's not no PR government, this. And that was another episode of The Breakdown. Join me again next week when we will break down even more of the...
You see that though? So everything when the man run with by when I'm Pastor Ricky.
Yes.
Pastor Ricky, now I'm going to wrap up the thing and then you have to pray and take me out. But everything when the man run with is bogus and lies. And we say dead man now get up boy you can sue them man. It's not gonna win either. It make you hurt because they tell life by you. You're not supposed to be what have you, brother?
Exactly.
Yes, mistake.
Yeah, but when you look on Andrew Ones 9 years in government and going into a general election, as I said earlier, right, you shouldn't have a prime minister that coming out now, you understand, and promising, right, that he's going to do stuff and he's going to this and he's going to that and going to do that. Now let us show something. That if Andrew Ones wanted to bring Jamaica forward, he would have done so. Andrew Ones did not get into power, right, to, deal with any nation building, right, or make Jamaicans' life better. He went into power to make his life better on the back of taxpayers. That was Andrew Ones' mission from day one. That is the reason why he did not sign the Code of Conduct. Let us look at something to show that, okay, what in terms of progress, when you have a good government, and they mean the people well, if you look on Ibrahim Traore And I have to use him as an example because of what he had done within only 2 years. 2 years. 2 years, and Ibrahim Traore turn around Burkina Faso. Right? And now remember, I know that Burkina Faso was impoverished. And this man take 2 years to turn it around. So then it goes to show you that, okay, much could be done as it relates to Andrew Holness in at the helm for 9 years. Right? And it's really surprising, you understand, to know that Andrew Holness, based on his kleptocratic government, all the country at ransom, have in their pockets billions of dollars that many of those ministers cannot explain their source of wealth. And the reason for that they can't explain their source of wealth as it relates to the illicit 8. We know that Andrew Holness, you understand, is one of them, right? They can't explain their wealth. And so then now, this goes to show you that, okay, they are sabotaging, right, taxpayers from the service that they're supposed to offer. Right? So they are not here in terms of political representation. They are there as a result of corruption, nepotism, cronyism, right? Many of these ministers in Andrew Holness' cabinet, right, they have shell companies. Many of them being awarded contract. You see the situation with the TAJ, right? And we're one of them sitting member in parliament, being awarded contract, where the government, taxpayers' money, paying him what, over $400,000 per month for rent. So you see all these things, you see other ministers, right, getting contract. When you look on certain things, you also see where you have the councillor for St. Catherine Central, I think, right, having the contract in terms of dead bodies going to his funeral parlor, right? And you see this level of nepotism. Look, so let us ask a question, people. Let us reason here. When Portia Simpson was in power, did we have that as it relates to member of parliament, particularly cabinet members in Portia Simpson cabinet, you understand, running their business, awarding themselves with contract and all that? Oh,
couldn't happen.
No, you don't have that.
No.
You never have that. Because Portia Simpson was all about good governance. You never have that. Right? In a PJ Patterson time, you never have that. And bad for bad. In a Bruce Golden time, you never have that neither. And the truth be told, you understand, in a Siaga time, you never have that either. We're seeing the rampant corruption, the rampant nepotism, cronyism, skullduggery under Andrew Holness administration. Andrew Holness administration alone.
Brother.
You understand?
Brother.
The totality of corruption in Andrew Holness administration alone. You understand? It's surpassed any other.
Byron.
You understand, Prime Minister?
Byron.
Yes.
Now I cut you, but see, I got to have some, but you will not look on it, because I look on it right now. Yes. But it never so daring like that one.
Exactly.
Let's say I got how much money. But if not do it like how Andrew do it, be a face.
Yes.
Them do it front of your be a face. Them own the wharf. Them have the license for carrying the food, carrying chicken back. One have rice meal. When we asked him said, him pay cannot send him Pitney go to school. And when Tufton said that, I remember him say it, if you say the pay can't carry your Pitney go to school, send your Pitney go to school, and you get too much million, what happened to a man who get minimum wage, Byron?
Exactly.
And him said for the rice mill. And then who have gas station, hey, say, this could not happen under no PMP government. Where you see like a real greed and them man there, and them man prison and just sit down same way. Him a campaign too, and the man I tell people say the good economy when the private sector come out and I tell say them a crush. And speaking of private sector, what we never talk about the nasty nose one. Mitch Siaga. I come out to talk about this guy. Mitch Siaga go on the corner, you know, and wipe off your nose, you know. You have a nasty nose, just wipe it off. You understand? Me no know if a rice drop under your nose or flour, but it look white up. But wipe off that, you know, and keep your mouth shut. Yes? You're one of the idle of them.
Give me sweet cocoa tea now.
Sure. Pastor Ricky.
Come in.
Yeah. You know, it's a crying shame that every institution that was in that clip, the two clips you played, was implemented or came online under the People's National Party administration. When you think of NEPA, RADA, NHT, NHF, NIS, I mean, JUTC, I mean, the People's National Party, Jamaica, a PMP country, a them bill Jamaica. We not see nothing with Siaga bill. We not see nothing with Bruce Colin bill. We not see nothing with Buster bill. And we not see nothing with this criminal we having there in a Jamaica House bill. Absolutely nothing. When an incumbent is in trouble after almost a decade, as Sir Byron and Father Lonesome said, you shouldn't have to go to the people talking about future promises. You should run on accomplishments. What have you done for me lately? Remember that song there? What have you done for me lately?
About them not, right?
Yeah, them not. When them things are for labor rights. When them 290 houses at 9 years are going on 10 years. When him promised 70,000 houses, out of that 30% for public workers, teachers, nurses, and police, and 10% for the young people. Wait then. The clip showed things would have disappeared if it was a People National Party bill. It showed the land space would have been empty. The Jamaica Labour Party is an empty party. They make empty promises, unrealistic promises. As him said, I make commitments, but him don't follow through upon way. Him never mean it. Him say to win your votes, and then trick you for your vote for him, and then throw poison and make you suffer. That's what he did to Jamaica people. So my fellow Jamaicans, wake up. Wake up. This prime minister don't mean no good. Him sit down there for 8 years and him cronies them and them fill them craw. Him rotten rich. Multi-billionaire on his way to being the first trillionaire. He's not on trillionaire before the election. He's on the border of between a billionaire and a trillionaire. When you add up all the value of his assets and the businesses them with them sign contract to themselves, you are the government, but you're taking contracts for the government. Cronyism, nepotism, skullduggery, awarding them friends contracts, cutting out the middleman, which is you, the Jamaican born, when really I try a thing for make ends meet and build a business. They overlook honor and feed themselves contracts and feed them friends in high places contracts. Mash up the trucking industry, and them own all of the trucking thing while going at the mines them. And them own it. The water truck them while going at the community, and them own it. Certain gas station, and them own it. Funeral parlors, and them own it. Them own everything. Housing development to go up all over Jamaica, and them own it. When they make them rob no, throw a wool over on the face and rob no. 9 years, them take out everything from one. So when them leave government, if we not seize and take it back from them and sell it, then them gone with everything and only have nothing. Your future children and your grandchildren, them don't have a single thing. But yet, when I make them the most deceptive, Father Lonesome, Sir Byron, everybody in the chat, I think Siaga was a deceptive Prime Minister because him did born in America and pose like a Jamaican come from.
Yes.
And use the CIA for try overthrow Sir Michael Manley. But this Prime Minister take deception to a new level.
Yeah.
A new level that we have never seen before. This deception should be his name. The man on a doctor. That's another deception. That's another deception. You know what I mean? People no wake up. You cannot afford for none of them in the parliament, in the JLP government, win any seat. A 63 seat. The first was supposed to have, I don't recall in history if we ever had a parliament with no opposition. But Father Lonesome is a historian.
Yeah, we never parliament 1983, no opposition.
Well, yeah, because we never contested the election.
Yeah,
never get beaten.
Michael Manley didn't run.
Not about a true election. The one they will never contest.
Yeah, we not contest it. So them
Right.
get the seat and then mash up the place.
Right.
They get the whole seat in for much years and mash it up, you know.
Right. And still
From
losing at
89,
89.
they mash it up. Yes.
But may I talk about an election that's being contested. And the first was supposed to have a 63 seat PMP parliament. No opposition. Listen, them robbing off from Jamaican people. We don't need them back in a government. Not one single one of them for come back in the parliament.
But Ben, sorry to you finish first, sorry.
No, go ahead. Say what you say.
You know, you just mentioned something and it just, tingled something in my brain.
Yes, yes.
Right. And let us go back there because I don't want it to slip me.
Yes.
Right.
I want to show Jamaican people as it relates to the Jamaica Labour Party not having any care to move the nation forward. Now watch this. In when was it that Michael Manley did not contest the election?
1983.
1983.
Mm-hmm.
Right? But saying so, it simply means that the Jamaica Labour Party have no opponent, you understand, to oppose him in terms of any policy that they wanted to pass. We could go back there Vin, and dig it out a bit.
Yes.
So then they now was at the full control, right, to pass any policy they would have wanted to pass, right, and develop the country because they have no form of opposition and they didn't do it.
Right.
So why are we now expecting them now to do it when they have in 1983 no form of opposition because Michael Manley did not contest it. And Siaga tricked him and said, ready or not, we're gone. I remember very well that
Byron, move this up. What happened is them have 100 and them have some couple thousand people to go up on the list.
Yes.
They are gonna make them go up on the list because they don't want the new list. Yeah, much 180,000. But they don't want the new list because they know most of the young people them that for Michael Manley in 83.
Yes,
so
yes.
you know do the new list and Manley said no, this wasn't my agreement. Yeah. And if you keep it away.
Yeah.
And Manley did so him come in and oppose. So him come in as a full dictator now.
Exactly.
In the same year, him locked down JRS here. Him destroyed it. And him start going back at thing. Continue. We hear some of that thing by when
I am saying that he has ultimate power then. He has ultimate power then in 83.
Yes.
Right? Where now he could pass policies, right? And develop the country. You understand? Because he has no opposition. No opposition.
None.
And he didn't do it. Tell us failure. Then how should anyone believe that Jamaica Labour Party have no vision for bring the Jamaica forward? Think of that. Think of that, people. Think of that.
Put this on it, Byron. Put this on it. So him have the whole of the 18 to 89. And when Michael come in, him bring in rather and do one of them things the way you see. I would them bring in. And that's what up Jamaica right now. And then I was hold it up the housing trust where him take 100 billion from. Michael put that it depend auto from the 70s.
Right.
In the 70s. Everything where you see the man leave there at it, the Prime Minister itch up like a, like him is a parasite, just itch up and just live on these entities like it don't need him enough.
Yeah.
It depend author, so it don't need him. It make it one money, it have customer, and it do what it have to do. And it stand up like a beacon of shine right now, and Andrew nearly crumble it.
Yeah.
Remember when Porsche threw them destroy the place? Them go back. Remember, you know, in at the same time, 18.5 years, you know, if you look on the IMF, when you look on the IMF, the austerity measure start when the man are coming in. And 83, by 84, the money devaluate.
Right.
Then them come in with food stamp in 1984. Me show that last night too, you know. When you can go look at the New York Times and think if you don't remember.
Yes.
Yes. Food stamp him push every year. I push like 6,000 public servant worker, 7,000.
Yeah.
And more every year. Him a push him lock down hospital. Him get rid of JRS. Him lock down factory. Him do all kind of things. Him put them on food stamp. What they on the stamp?
Mash up the country.
What they on the stamp?
Mash up the country.
Skim milk powder, rice. I remember I take it and more money, you know. Skim milk powder, rice and rice and carne.
I'm married thing.
That ninja man have in a 88 when he come sing living a free food ticket that a money in the pocket that I sent to now where I gotta do.
Yeah.
Yes. And a matter of fact, in a 1986, and it documented, I'm sure it yesterday. You see, Reagan, because them know if them call election man they are win and them say man they are forcing, but him not call it. Reagan move the money with them and give them, because backside drop off, you know, so tourism pass it, you know. But man, they said him give it back, you know. Them that give him 125 million grant. Say, you know, free thing and all. Them have to move it to 157 million. And it still couldn't help him. Him couldn't manage the economy. Him shut down the all them talk about Seago do. Seago end up with hotel Enchanted Garden. When borrow money when the pay for him done when you done the same one them with Crosby now and secure loan and it will come and the same thing down. I saw them get money to him. The one of them are classes, you know.
Yeah.
And money with them not pay back. And then them split it on the PR and thinking pan PMP. Not go so. That's why it's good when you do fact check them now not for talk. And by the way, Andrew Honest, let me say something to you. You go to the people, them now little thing, I go like Michael man, they don't make him come chicken, you know. Yes, and the next thing so him go out there, right there, so I talk to the people now, and you think. You know, like commanded I come and talk to me and shake when you know, say that's my try now.
That's my try.
You try it because we society are the two. If you go away, man,
yeah.
you're not supposed to depend on that brother.
No.
You talk straight. See, look here. You know, feel embarrassed when Dayton Campbell have put out this just now. When you can see this, at no time in the People National Party could we have the leader of the party who under investigation and continue to remain as leader of the party. It could not happen.
Right.
For you to have a prime minister seeking to strike down very law that he speak to illicit.
It's embarrassing.
You see it? He might tell you up to date and see that date and Campbell. He might tell you, can PMP want to put up with that?
No.
You have to lead that, them that come and say, no, you have to go step down. It could not happen.
Exactly.
Right.
We share my PSOJ too, you know, and the minion. So I say, you know, Big Mama them try to cover up some little things. I say, maybe I show at the time and, you know, Mama Graham and Pop Smear. Big Mama come out with a green dot poll. But that, listen, you can put on, only some believe in the poll, you know. Come have a video here, so you must say, nah, call the election until him show him can win. All these things, only say, you know, people. You have the video, you know. Me show it, Byron. You want to hear it?
Yes.
And have the video I say him not can election unless him know him can win. Honest. So I'm not believing I agree in that poll.
Well, him have 3 months.
Yes. Him not believe. 3 months.
Him no said false. Him no said false.
Yeah.
Him no said false. That's why I'm going to tell them now, them, you know, maybe I better them. No, well, that man I better. May I tell him the truth, you know? Yeah? I better use that poll there because the Mama Graham now and Pop Smear. He
make
use
a swing on it.
Yes. You understand? Big Mama. Yes, ma'am. Watch out.
Despite calls from the opposition for the Prime Minister to announce the general elections, Prime Minister Holness is insisting he will not be calling the elections until he's certain of victory. Adrian.
After 9 years, you're not certain of victory.
They hear this. If I believe in the poll, what am I putting on? They might try something. Hear this.
Despite calls from the opposition for the Prime Minister to announce the general elections, Prime Minister Holness is insisting he will not be calling the elections until he's certain of victory. Adrian Williams files this update.
As the election engine revs up, jubilant cheer filled the air in southwest St. Elizabeth. However, Prime Minister Andrew Holness cautioned that there will not be any rush into an election.
We're going to make sure that before you call an election, all our workers must touch base with the voters in their community. That is what we mean when we say we are going to make the calling of the election sure.
The PM encouraged party workers and supporters to have all hands on deck.
For this army to get up and fight for what we have achieved.
And them not achieve nothing. Where my push? And where my push?
Deception.
Uno know fight for him to achieve the big house and the 400 odd million. And I want to achieve it. I am in a Byron. Yeah, Byron. Army and fight. And I'm the same now. Give up the country, brother. And I want to say army no want fight. Hear this?
To keep this train on track.
Where the train there?
Everyone must be on board. All hands on deck.
In a jab-throwing speech at the PNP, Member of Parliament MP Floyd Green again.
You know, one of people, this goddamn discreet Byron. You know, say, hey, St. Elizabeth people, if you go away, you know. A guy named Fly Green, hear this.
Presented the perspective that all the issues being fixed is as a result of the previous PNP administration.
The previous PNP administration, I get it from the previous JLP administration. I remember them give them good word and everything, you know. And hear this idiot after 2 terms. Remember, you know, every term, then you have it could be a PNP or a JLP. A 2 term, remember, do. He must say the previous administration was Andrew Holness. A 2 term, in the pan.
Administration failing to do what they should have done.
If them did do some work, our work wouldn't so hard.
You know, yeah. People want to really listen to them garbage, yeah? Hear this.
But we have to fix our communities that support us traditionally and communities that support them traditionally.
So it might deal with a divide. I know government this. We have a fixed community. We have agency we fix road and all them need for doing make the money run and it prepare, you know. Hear this now?
So we fix Round Hill and we fix Blunters. We fix Great Bear and we fix Sandy Bank. We have had to do the work, not for one party, for 2 parties.
People, government, you don't have no party in the government really, you know. Because government pay taxpayers money, you know. So now you must fix stuff. You hear this? It's a party thing. Oh, them code for this piece of nastiness, brother. Oh!
For all of Jamaica to move Jamaica forward.
Boosting the supporters in the room was Minister of Education, Dr. Dana Morris Dick.
You're the mad one, you know. I want a tumble bug. You're the one, you know. I want you to plead for people now. Hear this.
Highlighting the importance of the party workers.
Don't feel is Andrew Holness or Floyd or me. Is you do it. Is you go and walk the street. Is you go and get the vote. Is you. So I want you to stand tall.
And then you still them hungry and if you beg and I get 5 grand and I get disrespect. And I them do it. Them when I follow take sleep market. And I them get the job. She get job but she not do it. And Friday and Andrew not do it. But I uno them this. When if you run them for a long time. Yeah, this.
Stand with pride. Say I am a member of the Jamaica Labour Party.
Yeah, them are beg. You ever hear beggars like this?
I'm going to motivational speaking instead of telling them.
Hey, lady, come out from a thing, man. You ever hear the beggars like this, Byron?
Well, let me just say this real quick. I'll finish my point. This JLP government is not a government for the people, the whole 3 million people in Jamaica. A government in a true democracy is for the people, by the people, and with the people. They refer to themselves as a party. And so when they do things, it's only for their supporters. They only do things to benefit, as you said, Father Lonesome, the People's National Party, and Sir Byron. Every accomplishment from Norman Malley to Mama P is for the people. Every Jamaican, whether you're JLP, PMP, or no PUIC, everybody benefit from the people's national, the school systems, the RADA, NHT, everybody benefit from everything. The telecommunication revolutionary back in the early 2000s, everybody's benefiting. Everybody. So when them are do things, it's only for labor rights. And this is why the sentiments of the people has shifted. So I'm going to stop right there. And that was what I wanted to say. Thank you.
You know, let me just say this because, you know, I have to go run shortly. It is really a national disgrace.
Yeah.
And when I say a national disgrace, indeed a national disgrace. You know what I look on? Just to see how they are out there now asking the people to vote for them.
Beg.
And you wonder, apart from asking the people to vote for them, I am wondering to myself, why the people should vote for them?
Them are begging.
No, let us use this as a perfect example.
Yes.
If you care for the Jamaican people, and the very same people that you're asking now to vote for you, it's the very same people, you know, that you rub up their money, you know, and you go and buy a refurbished drill that value just merely $300,000, and you're asking them to pay over $31 million. These are the people you are asking to vote for your Andrew Honest. It is a goddamn, it is a shame. It is a disgrace. When you look on the situation in terms of how you put the country in such a turmoil, over $3 trillion under your administration, unaccounted for. It has never happened in the history. In the history of our entire politics, has never happened. And you are saying to the people that you perform well. I don't understand this. Listen to me. This
deception.
Deception. This. Eh? We see that the level of corruption that you now start to attack your own government. You want to take your own government to court. And number one, you want to remove the Corruption Act that deals with illicit enrichment. The act that is there to protect taxpayers. No, you, Andrew Honest, asking the taxpayers them to go back and vote for you when you try to move the Corruption Act that's supposed to protect taxpayers. No, sir.
Him a beg, brother. Him a beg.
You don't believe what me I hear?
No, I beg him everywhere now. You for come here, man, and look on the, look on the CV. And look on the work for him do. And I be a lie. And I walk on like him a man, they know, sir, man.
It's crazy, Papa.
Anyway, brother, Pastor Ricky, you have to take us out in prayer because to light the bar for Andrew Honest and the mini and them me please and thanks now. I want say I have to smile when I hear this. People now watch my face because I like you when the lightning ball drop. Pastor Ricky, take it away.
All right.
Amen. Father, we thank you. We honor you. We worship you and we adore you. You are worthy to be praised from the rising of the sun, hallelujah, till the going down of the same. We bless your holy name. Once again, we thank you for tonight's program. We thank you for your son, Father Lonesome, and his wife, Lady Angie, their children and grandchildren. We ask that you continue to sustain them, continue to make ways for them, continue to open doors, hallelujah, of opportunity for them, and continue to keep them in perfect health. Keep them from disease, germs, virus, bacteria, and infections in the name of Jesus. Bless your son, Sir Melton Pot, and his wife, who's not here, he's not here tonight, but you know all things. We pray, mighty God, that you will continue to give him grace, strength, and courage. Breathe a fresh wind on him and his wife, their children and grandchildren, and continue to watch over them and keep them in all of their ways. Remember your son, Sir Byron, and his wife, Lady Anne Marie. Hallelujah. Glory be to God. We pray, mighty God, that you will continue to bless her as a nurse in the hospital setting, who work diligently to save life and to improve the health of life of others. And her husband, Sir Byron, a certified investigator, we thank you for his vision and the way you have used him to unfold and reveal mysteries that were hidden from the Jamaican people and those of us in the diaspora. We ask that you continue to give him the courage and the strength he needs. And we can't forget, mighty God, those in the chat, those who support and follow and love Father Lonesome channels, the Titan, City Hall, Reggae, Dub Scene in the daytimes. We pray, mighty God, that you will continue to bless them. You are a rewarder of those who diligently seek you. And as they continue to make sacrifices to come on day, noon, and night, we thank you for their love for your son, Father Lonesome. We lift up Jamaica, that is at a crossroads, a country that is torn between righteousness and unrighteousness, godliness and ungodliness. 49 criminals in the Jamaica Labour Party in the House of Parliament and 13 criminals in the Senate. Out of those bunch of criminals, the IC said that 8 of them are under investigation. We know one of them that is already revealed, but the other 7, we know who they are, but we're not going to preempt the IC. But because the general public don't know who they are, then we have to, assume that all of them could be one of the 7. And so we pray, as this general election is fastly approaching, and we hear the prime minister saying he cannot call it until their runners are in place and their workers are in place and their scrutineers are in place. They have 9 years in government, going on 10 years. If he had a vision and if he was smart, he would have started planning. But because their canvassing number is revealing that they're going to get a whipping, a landslide defeat, and so he's using these excuses. But when they canvass, the people are rejecting them. Their own supporters won't even go to the poll. They're burning their T-shirts. They're not interested in voting for them anymore, because the people's eyes are starting to open, that they have stolen from the Jamaican people. And the Bible says, he who oppressed the poor will be in trouble with God. And those in the Jamaica Labour Party who steals from the poor is already in trouble with God. And so this election, we know that it's the judgment of God that's already pronounced on the prime minister and his criminal, multinational, transnational criminal enterprise regime that they have in the Jamaica Labour Party. I pray that you'll continue to expose them. Putting Dennis Chung at the head of Fid is not going to save him. Taking the IC to court is not going to save him. The prime minister will be the first prime minister to go to prison in the history of Jamaica. And the sad thing, he has implicated so many of his followers, his cronies, business partners. They're all going to go to prison with him. And those at the radio station that spread misinformation and disinformation and don't pay their taxes, mighty God, you know them. Break their backs and take them off the airways in the name of Jesus. We pray that the prime minister and his cronies, as they go to prison, that all of their assets will be seized. Their bank accounts onshore and offshore that many people don't know about will be frozen. All of their offshore and onshore assets that they own overseas and in the space of Jamaica will be taken away from them and sell and put the money back in the economy because it was taxpayers' money to begin with. Those who claim they own Portland and own St. Thomas, I pray, mighty God, that you will continue to reveal yourself to them that you are the Almighty God. The lands that they stole and say they pay $1,000 for, take it back from them, we cry, in the name of Jesus. The IC has issued a statement earlier last month that by Saturday, May 31st, they have to give an account for all acquisition, and 9 of those land acquisition that they're questioning comes out of the Prime Minister's office. Criminality at the highest level, mighty God, as we have never seen before. Deception and illusion and delusion at the highest level, as we have never seen before. I pray that the Jamaica Labour Party supporters, the ones that are disgruntled, the ones that had enough, the ones that are suffering, that they will break free from a criminal organization of the Jamaica Labour Party. And the diehard ones who are willing to go down with a sinking ship, that they will drown in their own corruption in the name of Jesus. That the Prime Minister and his cronies who consistently lie to the Jamaica people, that no matter how much lies he's going to tell between now and election day, it will not save him. Have mercy, we pray. Remember the people of Jamaica. Bless Comrade Leader Mark Golan, someone, a man of integrity that you raised up for such a time as this. We know that in the space of spirituality, he's a type of Moses, a deliverer who's going to deliver your people from bondage, poverty, crimes, poor health conditions, education system, farmers that are still crying since burial, that haven't got any help from the government. Mighty God, a man who said he's going to have a livable wage so that those who are struggling with the regular minimum wage will find an avenue to improve their lives, who's going to make housing affordable and give a 500,000 grant as a down payment so that those who wants to buy a home and the rent to own, that they can live there and rent for 6 months to a year, and based upon their credit, if they paid on time, then they can become home owners. Thank you, Jesus. Bless them, strengthen them, and all 63 members of parliament. We're looking for a landslide defeat. We don't need an opposition. They already robbed Jamaica, stole from Jamaica. The mining sector they stole from, the minerals in the soil, they stole it. They have trucks that they contract to unearth the wealth of Jamaica and take it for themselves. I pray that they all will go to prison. Let the forensic evidence begin on day one when the People's National Party take the reins of government. I pray that Comrade Leader Mark Golan will even get international election day monitors from CARICOM, that those from Barbados and St. Vincent, St. Lucia will come to Jamaica and help to monitor, to ensure that we have free and fair elections. We cannot take anything for granted, and we cannot trust criminals. We don't know what their plans are, but many are the plans of a man's heart, but it's God's will that will prevail. So Father God, as Haman built a gallows for Mordecai, he was hung on his own gallows. As Pharaoh pursued the children of Israel, he was drowned in the Red Sea. As mighty God, so I pray that your wrath, your destruction penetrate this Jamaica Labour Party, that when you're through with them, they will cry out for mercy, but it will be too late, because God avenged the poor. Jesus loved the poor. He said the poor we will have with us always. And when you take advantage of the poor, you grieve the heart of God. And so we thank you that your ears are inclined to our cry. Have your way, we pray. Be thou glorified. And as we look forward for a great change in Jamaica that we have never seen before, I pray that the prisons that he's building in Western Jamaica, that he will be one of the first ones and his cronies to occupy those prison cells in Jesus' name. And everyone say amen. Praise God.
All right. That's okay. Yeah, man. People, that's the prayer at, over there, brothers. People,
yeah,
you know, it's already tomorrow. Next time. You know, it's already. All right, for there.
Sir Byron, everybody, good night. God bless you.
way about it. 1 a.m.
Start packing because you are going.